From Woodrow Wilson Senior High School here in Northwest Washington, D.C., hello, everybody. It's Lehigh Valley Storm football on the air for the second week of the World Football Federation as they travel to D.C. to take on the capital city Seahawks. It's the crazy one. Tom Wilkins with you. I'm being joined this week by Howard Gaber of HSG Productions, as we're just having the coin flip as you're watching right now. The Lehigh Valley Storm will receive the ball to begin today's contest. They just finished up the coin flip. I believe the Seahawks won the coin toss but refused to the second half, so the Storm will have first crack at this contest when we begin in just a couple of minutes. The Lehigh Valley Storm will be wearing their home black uniforms for this one. The Cap City Seahawks, they're in their white uniforms with, shall we say, dark blue Seahawk neon yellow trim and all that stuff and gray pants. So should be very easy to figure these guys out. So Howard, what do you think is going to be happening for this game in this evening?
I'm looking at the ECFA champions from last year, knowing that they've already battled the Central Penn Piranha to a 15-12 score, and I'm thinking that you never know. You never know what the leagues are like. You never know what the opponents are like because there is no actual scouting of them. So I'm hoping that the Storm, comes back and fixes a lot of the problems they had last time.
Yeah, last week was a bit rough for the Lehigh Valley Storm. Oops. I'm sorry, I got a wrong signal here. Last week was a little bit more difficult for the Lehigh Valley Storm as their season opener did not go so well at home in Allentown. They lost to the Albany Metro Maulers 47-22. Meanwhile, for the Capital City Seahawks, they lost for the first time in a couple of years, of course, defending league champions last year, lost to a legendary program in the Central Penn Piranha 15-12 up in central Pennsylvania. So both teams coming off an 0-1 start. Somebody's going to be happy with an even 500 record. The other will be in a big hole down 0-2 once this game is over. But right now, we're looking at some pretty nice weather with temperatures at game time look like it's going to be 85 degrees. It looks like it's going to be mostly clear throughout. There might be a chance of thunderstorms toward the end of the game. So this is bound to be an interesting one, Howard. What do you think?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Just getting ready for the kickoff. I guess they are not doing the anthem. I don't see anyone out there singing, and no one's lined up, Tom. So it looks like we're just going to go right to football.
Exactly, and the home of the brave, and let's get going. So, and go figure in D.C. no less, the capital
Yes.
of our country. And never fails. What are you gonna do? But as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, the Lehigh Valley Storm, they are going to receive the ball to begin tonight's contest. Tom Kolodziejski, whom I am very happy to announce his name correctly this time around after last week butchering his name. He is back there for the Storm, along with Yusuf Reddick to the right. And go figure, those were the two players that I interviewed post-game after last week in Allentown. So, the Capital City Seahawks in their home white get the whistle, getting ready for kickoff. There's the approach, and here we go. Kickoff will head towards Kolodziejski at the 11. He'll run up the middle, heads over to the 20, escapes one tackle and another, but then crashes at about the 28-yard line before finally being wrestled down. The Storm will have at least a halfway decent start in field position.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to start at least above the 20 if you're going to return it, and they are. So he made the right decision by bringing it back and broke a couple tackles, which, is part of the return job guy. He didn't exactly have a big wall in front of him, but, you make what you can.
You're exactly right. And, of course, quarterbacking for the Storm is Zach Zulli, who, of course, played in his Storm debut last week. He only went 19 out of 39. He threw for 2 touchdowns and for 2 interceptions, but he also was the leading rusher for the Storm. And obviously, in order for the Storm to have a chance in this game, they're going to need more contributions on the ground. So let's get started here. 1st and 10. Ball spotted their own 28-yard line. The Storm into shotgun is Zulli. They're going to line 3 wide slot right, and they're going to hand it off up the middle. Cody Lamoureux pushes his way to the 30 and gets as far to the 32, maybe 33-yard line. Probably the longest, slowest tackle down for a 4-yard gain we could see up the middle, Howard.
Yeah, it looked like a 3-man line with the linebacker coming in the background. You're going to hear that music. That is coming from the DJ that's on the field. So we're going to mute our field mic so it doesn't interfere with our broadcast here.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Football is football. I'd say save the music for like in
The
between
dance floor.
possessions or something. Not after every play, but that's just my thing. 2nd and 6 from the 32-yard line. Zilli again, the shotgun takes the snap. He's under a rush, throws to the right, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Yusuf Reddick on the right. Timothy Lefeged, I'm hoping that I pronounced it correctly. I apologize in advance. He was in coverage, but it looked like it was a little too wide to the right on the pass.
Yeah, he was matched up on him. It looked like a matchup zone type where they had a couple guys covered deep, and they were on top of him. So it's a good thing that pass wasn't thrown behind him or over him, or it might have been picked off.
And now the Lehigh Valley Storm already have something big to face here. 3rd and 6 from the 32-yard line. Opening drive of this game. Lehigh Valley Storm and Capital City Seahawks are Northwest DC. Once again, the shotgun is Zully. 4 receivers. Back he goes. He's going to throw it to middle. Pass deflected and incomplete. That was intended for Kolodziejski, but in coverage was Dave Ozadeh, who really did a nice job covering, and I think Zully had to rush his throw a little bit to get something on it.
Yeah, it was a tough throw. It looked like someone was spun up on the line there. They were only rushing 3, so they were dropping everybody else back, and their linebackers are picking them up, and there's a lot of traffic out there in front of Zully for that.
So the Lehigh Valley Storm, they go 3 and out, and a la Danny White of the Dallas Cowboys of the early 1980s, Zach Zully is going to punt and not only play quarterback. So
he did that last week too, Tom. If you remember
that's true.
at the end.
That's true. In the second half, he pooch punted late in the second half in that Albany contest. Meanwhile, oh wait a minute, we were going to say who was going to be back, but a timeout called by the Storm as they try and fix their personnel. So we're early here in the first quarter. Storm have had to punt to the Capital City Seahawks in a scoreless game. Okay, we're back here at Woodrow Wilson High School in Northwest D.C. The Lehigh Valley Storm about to punt to the Capital City Seahawks. Their 2 men, Raymond Mack and Terrell Gibbons, back to return a low one-hop snap. It's going to be a fake punt. No, it's going to be a pooch punt.
Going out.
Zully will pop it high in the air, and it's going to take a good bounce for the Storm as it goes all the way out of bounds to the 26-yard line. So the Lehigh Valley Storm get a good bounce on a punt by Zach Zully, and it looks like the Capital City Seahawks will be starting in, I guess, okay field position.
Yeah, Tom, we've seen that a lot. If you remember, Magic Mears was the master of the fake punt where he sprints out wide left, and if no one's coming on him, he'll play it. He'll pass it or he'll run it, and if someone is on him, then he'll just pooch punt it. You know, and they usually get a good 40, 50 yards off the kick because the D-backs come up thinking that he's actually going to pass.
Well, that's true, too. And let's also not forget, it's almost a combination of American football and global football the way that was being kicked. But anyway, Capital City will begin from their own 26-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. By the way, that was a pretty nice punt, 42 yards. In the shotgun, it's going to be a handoff up the middle, and that looks to be number 29, I think it is, Aaron Gaskins, who goes up the middle for about a 3-yard gain. And luckily, Lehigh Valley Storm were able to close up on it to force a pretty marginal second down.
That's what you want on first down. Keep it short, keep it manageable, so that they don't have to worry about a short third down or a big play. This is a run offense, Tom.
Well, speaking of which, even though there might be receivers, there's also a gentleman lying up in the left slot on this 4-wide play, 2nd and 7, and that's Tim Short in the left slot, speaking of short. Anyway, Daniel Ladd's the quarterback. He stands in a shotgun with the running back to his left, takes the snap. He's going to pass. He's under a rush, and down he goes, except he was taken down by a face mask.
It might have been
sack will not happen. Bad mistake by Michael McDermott because that's going to give a first down right to the Seahawks.
Yeah, you got him a little high, Tom. That was, you're there. Just make the tackle. You made the play. He may be elusive, but, you're still costing your team that first down.
Yeah, that is an absolutely bad mental mistake on McDermott's part because instead of 3rd and long, now a new set of downs for the Seahawks, and it's plays like that that keep drives going, and in the end, could cost you points.
Yep, they had them. They had them 3rd and long. So, now let's see what they get on their next series of downs.
So 15 yards after the personal foul face mask, now will be 1st and 10 for the Seahawks at the 44-yard line. Once again, Daniel Ladd at quarterback in the shotgun. Back to his right, 4 receivers evenly divided. Here's the snap and a handoff on the right side. Once again, Aaron Gaskins is hit very hard at the 46-yard line. Good tackle. Jaron Elder, and it looks like Skippo Marsh was in on that play, too.
Oh, yeah, big hit. That's what you want. You want to give them something to remember. So, the Storm are predominantly a great team defending the outside. So, when that guy's coming around there, you want to deliver a hit so he'll go back to that huddle and tell everyone, all right, let's call a different play, guys. This is not
funny.
The way to go.
The DJ was playing, here comes the boom, and it was the Storm that actually leveled the boom. Go figure. Anyway, it's a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 from the 46-yard line. Directing traffic, Daniel Ladd, the quarterback. Again, 4 receivers evenly divided. To the right again is Aaron Gaskins. Here's a low snap. Now they're going to hand it. No, it's a keeper by Daniel Ladd, and he's only able to slide down, sweep left to the 48-yard line before the tackle, and that forces 3rd and 6 for Capital City.
Yeah, it's a run option, Tom. That's what they're running. It's you fake the handoff and you keep it, or you fake the handoff and you don't keep it. What the Storm defense has to remember is this is very similar to the wing T formation that Delaware used to use, where you've got to go out and crush that quarterback every time he has the ball in his hands, and he'll start to stop handing it off and running around.
Well, we'll see what Daniel Ladd has in his lamp on 3rd and 6 from the 48-yard line. Takes it from the shotgun. Short drop. Deep throw right side. A collision. An incidental contact. It looked like on the far side of the field. Incomplete. It was intended for Tony Green along the right side. John Kennedy in coverage. It looked like the ball was just simply overthrown, and that means punting time for Capital City.
Yep, so the Storm come back after the 15-yard penalty and hold them. So that's what you want to see. You want to see the defense come back. They're a little bit shaky against the Maulers, but then again, when you have a play-action quarterback like Tarver back there, it's tough to do anything.
That's very true, and I'm sure the Storm have to be very pleased with the way that first drive went. So that at least gives something for Zach Zilli to work with on when they come back on offense. Meanwhile, punting now for the Capital City Seahawks. Trying to see his number here. Looks like it is.
Looks like 4. Is there a 4?
Looks like 84. I'm sorry.
Yep, I see the 4 on my side.
Or it could be 34, actually.
Could be 34.
If that's so, that's like Harold Smith. He's back to punt. Yusuf Reddick back there for the Storm, along with Yulene Reddick. So the Reddick crew, one of them will return it. And it will be Yusuf at about the 8-yard line. He'll rush up the middle, cross the 20, breaks off a tackle, 25, nice hold down the field, 30, 40, and tripped up at about the 43-yard line. Yusuf runs far side on a 35-yard punt return. What a job by Yusuf Reddick pulling through on that one. Nice blocking, I would say, by the Storm coverage.
Set it up. They set it up for a left, and he went left and followed his blockers right down the sideline. He had one guy to beat, and he got him. But, again, look where they're set up. They're set up in positive yardage. They're outside the 30, almost to the 40. Set up their second series.
We, of course, while we have a second, want to welcome our friends watching and listening, of course, to Lehigh Valley Storm football, courtesy of Livestream.com and HSG Productions, WALNCableRadio.com, and RockingTheValley.com, part of our Lehigh Valley Storm broadcasting group. We were about to have 1st and 10, but we have a timeout called by the Capital City Seahawks. So we're saying maybe 5 minutes into this first quarter. No score, Seahawks and Storm coming back in a sec.
Jeepers, it's the creeper!
What do we do now? It's a mystery.
I know. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Zoinks! It's Lucy, like our favorite State Farm agent lady.
Hi, gang. I'll handle it. And that's
Okay, back in action. Here's the Storm starting on 39-yard line, 1st and 10. We're going to hand off the line below, lost the 40, and she tripped up at about the 42, tackled by Marcellus Manier. But not before a 3-yard pickup. There was a 31-yard punt return by Yusuf Reddick. What was the key there?
It looked like it was a nice hang time.
They had actually two guys back there to return them. You know, it's nice to have the two guys just in case. It's always good for a safety, but you know, again, they got a good 3-yard gain on the first down, so let's see where they go.
By the way, that was a 44-yard punt by the linebacker Harold Smith, who was the punter there. 2nd and 7 on the 42, the shotgun once again. Zoe hands off to Lamar, slips a tackle, 45 midfield, and partially in the Seahawks territory at the 49, and for the first time today, we can say that is a Wegmans first down for Lehigh Valley.
Yep, our first Wegmans sponsorship there. Because that's what you want. You want to keep the ball moving, keep the clock moving, and let's get these guys tired from DC here.
Well, don't forget too, Wegmans was voted as one of the Fortune 100 best companies to work for in 2015. Hey, you want to work for them? More information? Visit Wegmans.com. They have on their smorgasbord, so definitely worth checking out. All right, the Storm checked themselves in after a nice 9-yard pickup by Cody Lamaro. First and 10, just outside the Seahawks' 49-yard line. Zoe in between split backs in the shotgun, 3 right, slot right. Zoe takes a snap, play action, in the pocket, throws a screen, good catch, Deontay Romaine, cross the 40, down to the 38. The tackle made by Kennard Pollock, but not before another Wegmans first down, a gain of 11.
What's this look like? Does this look like the old Storm to you?
I'll just say that head coach Darren McDowell had his team ready, or at least we're hoping he has his team ready, because he sure didn't like what he saw last week.
No, it's still a work in progress. If you don't see him doing any signals at all, he has the quarterback coming over, and he's sending him to play that way, where he doesn't trust the receiver to go in.
Okay, so Zoe got the shot on 1st and 10. They're going to spot the 37 of Capital City, and a sudden snap and a pass at incomplete, as it looked to be the intended receiver, number 84, and unfortunately, they called it incomplete. He wants pass interference. The official says, nope.
No penalty. No penalty at all. He had his arm up, but he didn't.
Yeah, and of course, the receiver's always lining for pass interference, but unfortunately, it didn't quite work out in that case. So, it'll be 2nd and 10 for the 37-yard line. In the shotgun again is Zoe, 3 wide slot to the right. Back he goes, under a rush in the pocket, worth in the middle. Nice catch at about the 28-yard line by DeVell Bird. Bird had a pretty nice start to his Storm career last week. He caught a 49-yard pass on the very first pass of the game that Zach Zoe threw here. This one is a game that looks to be, I guess, 8. So the Storm will have it there about the 28, about a yard short of the first down.
Yep, a yard short. We all know that the Storm kicker is a little mystery position for us right now. So, you know, if they're inside the 30, they're going for it. It's 2-down territory.
Yeah, that's very true. And sometimes some of our teams have that set up, and then sometimes it's by design. 3rd and a yard from the 28-yard line. Again, the shotgun. Zach Zoe, same formation as the last play. Zoe with a snap. They hand it off, and it looks like it is going to be Deontay Romaine, who probably is going to be short by about half a yard. He did not get much at all on that play. So, again, no gain on the play there, so Romaine is stopped on 3rd and 1. So, as Howard mentioned, looks to be started back at go. They will line in an I formation this time, so they are to set up for Zoe on 4th down and a yard. They go for Zoe waiting, takes a snap, quarterback sneak, flag is down, the Seahawks have jumped offside. I'm not sure if Zoe made the first down, but they allowed the play to continue, and the back judge is saying
preliminary
offside against the Seahawks, so a free Wegmans first down, and the Storm will have the ball for it looks like the 23-yard line.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to get the first down any way you can, because it didn't look like you're going to get on the run there. Looks like they stuffed them, but you get the offside and you're good.
Exactly. It was a hard count, I think, by Zoe that time, and that was the Seahawks. They were a little bit jumpy, but they cost them that time on 4th and yard. So now, 1st and 10 for the Storm at the Seahawks 23-yard line. They're going to go back to their original line, 3 wide slots to the right, and music right in the near slot there. In between split backs being Romaine and Lamaro. Back goes Zoe, pass caught by Reddick, who slips a tackle, 25. but gets back to the original line of scrimmage for no gain, brought down by Calvin Dickens that time.
Yep, perfect. Yep, that's, he tried. At least he didn't lose yardage. That's the big plus there. You're almost into the red zone, almost into the Pepsi zone, and you don't want to lose any yardage when you're down that close.
Please note I cannot drink that while I'm broadcasting. It's not good for my throat, but anyway. Second and 10. Storm at the 23-yard line of the Seahawks. That made what the first score. Remember, official time being kept on the field today as the scoreboard is not operating. Let's see what Azuli does in the shotgun. Once again, takes a snap. He's found back. Keep on pace. Got for a deep one on the left side. The passes. I believe intercepted. It is by Daryl Gibbons. Yes. And he runs it out for a touchback. The intended receiver was the Valverde, but the ball overshot him. Daryl Gibbons brings it down, and it's a turnover for the Lehigh Valley Storm, and that means Cap City Ball, their own 20.
Yeah, Tom, you get down that low and you want to go for it, and your success is running the ball and getting chunks in it. West Coast offense, and then you go for a 23-yard pass in the corner. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So now it's back to the defense. But they didn't hold the ball for quite some time here. So the defense will get the game for rest.
Well, that's true, and the running game at least got going, which was a non-existent factor in last week's game against Auburn. But unfortunately, for the Storm, they turned it over in the end zone off the interception.
Third interception of the year by Zach Zolli. And now it is back to Daniel Ladd and his crew. First and 10 for their own 20-yard line, moving right to left. Takes a low snap, handoff, a big opening for Akil Smalley. And okay, that was not rehearsed. I'm sorry, but he was able to get down to about the 23-yard line for a 3-yard pickup.
Yep, they're looking to run the ball. That's what they do. They run the ball. It's a run-first offense with the option.
And indeed, there was a big hole that time. I think it closed very quickly. So the Storm defense trying to line themselves up to make sure they stop the run. And if they can do that, that'd be certainly a good thing. On 2nd and 7, back goes Ladd, throws a swing left to short. Short is going to be stopped short for maybe a half a yard, maybe to about the 24-yard line. Leading the way that time was Corey Worthy along with Jaron Elder. A good stop, and now the Seahawks have a 3rd and 6.
Tom, that's exactly what it was. It was a swing pass that just was blown up by our outside people again that just have so much speed on the outside to blow up those plays.
And don't forget the Storm, they're playing without one of their leaders, Orrin Marshman, who, of course, suffered a shoulder injury last week. Of course, he did not make the trip, so Storm trying to do well without him. So far, so good. 3rd and 6. Here's a pass on the right side that was intended for Tim Short. Was way over his head. Incomplete. Michael McDermott in coverage that time. So coming off the turnover, the Seahawks couldn't do anything, and now they're forced to punt.
Yeah. Again, you see what happens when a run offense turns into a pass offense. It's very, very hard for the connections. So that's why they're going to be punting.
Well, let's see what they decide to do here on 4th down. The punter happens to be number 94, and 34, who's in the game in special teams, is Harold Smith. So I do stand corrected. 94 is the punter for the Capital City Seahawks. The Reddicks are back. Yaleen and Yusuf back there. One of those two will return. Punter standing at about the 14-yard line. Takes the snap, has plenty of time, no rush, but a bad kick off the side of his foot, and it goes out of bounds, probably somewhere to the Capitol Beltway, but not quite, but into like the second row of stands. We'll see where the official spots the ball, but the Storm are going to start in tremendous field position at the 40-yard line of Cap City. That's only a 16-yard punt.
Jeepers, it's the creeper.
What do we do now? It's a mystery.
I know. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Zoinks! It's Lucy, like our favorite State Farm agent lady.
Hi, gang. I'll handle it. And that's not really a monster.
Creeper!
Mr. Carswell?
You meddling kids.
State Farm takes the mystery out of dealing with insurance. Get to a groovier state.
All right, we're back 1st and 10. Whoops. Well, we're trying to catch our breath, but then all of a sudden, Tom Kolodziejski was taken off at the same time.
Timeout.
A timeout was called by
Yep.
the Cap City Seahawks, already their second here in the first half. So let's try and catch ourselves for another couple moments here. No score, Storm and Seahawks here from D.C.
It's Football Federation excitement as the Lehigh Valley Storm takes to the gridiron every Saturday night right here on the Party Channel. Catch complete coverage of all games, home and away, on WALN Digital Cable Radio with Tom Wilkins bringing you all the play-by-play action. Lehigh Valley Storm football every Saturday night at 7, live on the Party Channel, WALN Digital Cable Radio and WALNCableRadio.com. An HSG production.
We're back first and 10 for the Storm at the Seahawks 40. Here's a handoff. Blackmore finds the right side, splits a tackle, runs toward the near sideline, sets out to the 35-yard line. May not have been the, shall we say, the flying trapeze run, but Blackmore gets 5. He's brought out of bounds by Timothy Lefebvre.
Yeah, they have a good run again, Tom. Working on the run game. That's what they got to do. They want to establish the run game.
And in a game in where you figure that it's run first with Cap City Seahawks, right now it's Lehigh Valley Storm that's dominating the run game going on here. Ball's at the 35-yard line. They set up with a 2nd and 5. And he's only in the shotgun. Lamar to the right, force the streets a lot. Here's a pass 84 Scott. And it's going to be taken to about the 32, 31-yard line. 3 Seahawks end up bringing him down. And coming down is Dorman El-Yusuf for a 4-yard gain, so 3rd and short for the Storm.
Again, it's a quick swing pass where they're just looking for yardage. Also giving Julie a little confidence to build it, to build up his percentage, to get some completions in there, get the arm going, and then you try to go deep or you continue with the run game on 3rd and short.
Okay, so 3rd and about a yard and a half, we'll say, just outside the 31-yard line, and now the officials stop play. Official timeout. I guess maybe they might want to re-spot the ball. But just a quick reminder, folks, that of course this game brought to you by Pepsi as well as Wegmans. And actually, it's part of quarter time. We're switching. So go figure. After 1, no score. Storm and Cap City Seahawks.
Lumpy Lou's Bar and Grill in Allentown reminds you that there are always fun places to be, whether it's game day or not. Located in the Lehigh Valley, Lumpy Lou's is more than another local sports bar and is the home of the MLF Lehigh Valley Storm. Locally owned and operated by Steve Lombardo, Lumpy Lou's now offers the NFL package to its patrons. Their mission is to provide unrivaled service, make amazing food, and create a family-style atmosphere where anyone can feel at home. Whether you're here to watch the game on one of our multiple TV screens or enjoy our 35-cent wings Wednesday to Sunday nights, we promise you that once you come in and meet us, you will feel like one of the family.
All right, we're back here in Northwest D.C., Woodrow Wilson High School. It's a crazy one. Tom Wilkins along with Howard Gaber here for World Football Federation action. About to start the second quarter of play. The Storm and the Seahawks, no score in this game. But right now, through one quarter, it looks like the Lehigh Valley Storm have dominated the field position, and it should bode well if this continues on.
Yeah, Tom, if we actually were keeping time of possession, I think they would win that too. They had the ball for at least 3 series, and Seahawks had 2, a 3-and-out, and then a first down. So
on 3rd and about a yard and a half, Zully bobbles the snap. Now he's under a rush. He has some room to run if he wants, but he stops, pump fakes, tries to get out of a couple of tackles, but cannot. Down he goes at the 39-yard line, brought down by Terrence Pete for an 8-yard loss. I think indecision that time for Zully proved the play costly.
Yeah, he had a chance. He could either run or throw the ball, but he's under a strict offense. It looks, from Darren, their coach, and he needs to, do one or the other.
That indeed is true, and I think the hesitation for Zully was critical there. So unfortunately for the Storm, they lose 8 yards on the play, and it looks like punting time again, as they are bringing on number 58. To do punting, or is it 56? That could be Jason Sedgwick. That could be punting for him. So on 4th down, they have the Seahawks One of them, Raymond Back, standing at the goal line. Let's see if they can get a good punt off of this. Decent snap. It is 58, and the punt will be short hopped at about the 13-yard line. That's Daryl Givens bouncing left side to the 20. Missed tackle. Look out to the 30. He's winding around. 35. Another missed tackle to the 40. Still running. Look out to midfield. He has his blockers to the 40, to the 30. He's still running. 25 to the 20, and he's going to go all the way. Oh, my goodness gracious. Welcome to the end zone. What a punt return for a touchdown by Daryl Givens. But a flag is down.
Back at the 38-yard line, there's a flag, so that's got to be a bad block. Got to be a block from behind.
Wow. I didn't see that until the very end. I was just trying to watch the field, and little did I realize the 38-yard line, there is a penalty flag down. That would nullify an 87-yard punt return, and it does. And I think it was an illegal crackback because the official called a personal foul.
Yes.
And it's going to be 15 yards from the spot of the infraction.
Could have been a clip, could have been a crackback, but whatever it was illegal.
Indeed. And Daryl Givens, not only did he have an 87-yard punt return for a touchdown nullified, he just said, I just ran 130 yards for what?
Yeah. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing how that play goes. But, again, when you're cutting back, you're also cutting onto your blockers, and guys were trying to tackle him by ankle tackles, diving at him and falling off of him, where no one actually wrapped him up.
And that's the key, trying to tackle the right way. And, of course, the Storm had that mistake when earlier in the game, Michael McDermott sacked the quarterback, which was Daniel Ladd, but he used the face mask. Here, a crackback against the Seahawks nullifies a long punt return for a touchdown. The infraction occurred at the 38-yard line, so the Seahawks will now start 1st and 10 from the 23 following a 15-yard penalty. Oh, my goodness, what those plays can do to a ball game. But let's see what the Seahawks respond with here, as they will have 1st and 10 from the 23. We're waiting for a little official break. Just a quick reminder, folks, that we're being broadcast live courtesy of Livestream.com, courtesy of HSG Productions, also broadcast on WALNCableRadio.com and RockingTheValley.com. So for those of you listening, whether you're down in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, or Georgia, or Arizona, or anywhere else, we're glad to have you here for this Lehigh Valley Storm broadcast of World Football Federation action here at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock Eastern Time from Northwest D.C. The crazy one, Tom Wilkins, with you along with Howard Gaber. He's helping out with the color commentary this week. In any case, the way this game's been going,
Tom, I wonder what the delay is for. It's not for the sticks because they're set up. There we go.
All right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Howard, but
it's
1st and 10, ball spot at the 23-yard line for Daniel Ladd. Single setback this time. He takes a snap. This is going to be a handoff, and this is Akil Smalley, who is able to get a couple of yards around the right side to the 25-yard line. Phil Tucker was able to bring him down, only a 2-yard pickup.
And again, this Storm defense is stopping the run. This is the strength of the Seahawks, is their option run. So they're going to be talking about that at halftime.
Well, absolutely. Remember, it will be Seahawk ball to begin the second half. We're early in the second quarter. You haven't missed any scoring, folks. The Storm and Seahawks, no score here from Woodrow Wilson High School in Washington, D.C. Very happy to be with you here this evening. On 2nd and 8 from the 25-yard line, Ladd in the shotgun. They're going to line up 3 wide slot left. Back goes Ladd under a rush. He's going to throw deep left side, and the pass is caught beautifully. That is James Boyd, who's able to sneak away across the 40 down to the 43-yard line. He had some height on the Storm defender and was able to pick up 18 yards and, I believe, the first down of the game for the Seahawks.
And actually, their second, Tom. They had the one-on-one play on the penalty, the 15-yard penalty.
Oh, so sorry, I forgot about the penalty on McDermott. My apologies there.
Yep. Yeah, but again, this is a run defense, and if they're going to start passing and they're going to start picking on these corners, they've got to start. They can't cheat up and look in the backfield. They've got to stay with their receiver.
And I think I've noticed too, Ladd's delivery seems to be a little bit slow. So let's see if that plays a role. 1st and 10, Seahawks are on 43. They're going to hand off to Smalley. Smalley crosses about the 45 and down to about the 48-yard line. Nice run off the left side for Smalley. They're going to say the 49. It's going to be a pickup of 6.
Another good run, Tom. So you hope that the Lehigh Valley Storm defense isn't getting tired out there.
And it's only the second quarter, so if all the runs continue, that could be considered dangerous. Don't forget, it's not terrible out here. It's started like 85 degrees at game time, with, they said, the possibility of thunderstorms, hoping to wait till after the game, as they say. But anyway, 2nd and 4, Seahawks in their home white uniforms and dark blue helmets. They're at their own 49-yard line against Smalley, the single back. Back goes Ladin, the pass.
Tom.
Oh, my goodness. Eric Wiley had it. Now a flag down the end of the play.
They may be calling a hit to the head as a defenseless receiver.
Oh, and that happens.
But once you tip that ball, Tom, there's nothing out there that you can't do except hit somebody in the head, which is maybe what they did.
And that's not using your head either. So it looks...
Let's see what the flag is.
Oh, they're picking it up.
Yep, so in
no
other words,
penalty.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, he didn't know that they actually tipped the ball. So once they tip that ball, all bets are off.
Wow. Oh, no,
nope.
they are,
no, they
are saying it's against the Storm. They will call the penalty against them.
Blow to the head.
Regardless whether the ball's tipped or not, they have to call the penalty.
Yeah, anytime you're going to hit somebody in the head, it's going to be a penalty, whether it's a dead play or not.
Well,
got to be safe out there.
That's not using your head, literally. Anyway, 1st and 10. Right now, we'll see what the Seahawks do at the Storm 36-yard line. Obviously, deepest penetration today for them.
Oh.
Handoff, Smalley slips out of a tackle, gets to the 35, slips to another one, 30, down to the 24-yard line before Jaron Elder brings him down, but another 12-yard gain, another first down for the Capital City Seahawks. It's a scoreless game here in the second quarter, but obviously best drive so far for Capital City. They're finding some holes along the Storm defense, and thus far, this has been a pretty successful drive. But remember, this was aided by the personal foul, second one of the game against the Storm defense, which has proven costly to this point. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line, quick snap, handoff Smalley. He'll hurdle a guy and get to about the 20, maybe the 19-yard line before being brought down by Dominic Jackson. So another 7 yards, and Smalley right now is starting to feel it here. Gets a gain of 12 and then a gain of 7, and suddenly first red zone appearance for the Seahawks.
Yep, they're moving the ball, Tom, on us. This is not good. They're getting 5 and 6 yards every first down, which is not good.
Yeah, and obviously when that happens, that really changes the flow and forces line changes and what have you. And like I said, usually games are won by way of the line of scrimmage and not necessarily by the receivers and stuff. 2nd and 3 from the 19-yard line. Here's a handoff this time. That is Lawrence Pointer, who points his way to about the 17-yard line. I think he's going to be about 2 yards shy of a first down. But this gives the Seahawks a chance to come through on a 3rd and a couple yards.
Or the Storm defense to turn it up. And I'll give them a big loss. You know, you have to expect the run, but again, you can't have these D-backs cheating forward, or they're going to be in real trouble.
I totally agree. 3rd and 2 from the 17-yard line. Capital City looking to score the first points of this game here in the second quarter. 0-0. Storm and Seahawks so far. They have Ladin a shotgun. To the right is Pointer. 4 receivers, 3 to the left. Ladd audibles, takes a low snap, looking, throws slant left. Pass caught by Mack. Mack slips to about the 15-yard line, and I think it's forced out of bounds. Depends on the spot of the ball. The Seahawks say it's a first down. The officials haven't signaled just yet. All depends on where they spot it. Not 100% sure exactly what. I'm sure they may bring the chain.
At the 15.
Yeah, it is
but
a 15.
Again, the other chain is on the 24.5.
Well, guess what? The Seahawks are going to use their last time out of the first half. So, as we're in midway point of the second quarter, Seahawks and Storm no score, but for how much longer? Find out in a moment.
Go.
Back here in Northwest D.C., the Capital City Seahawks right now faced with a 4th and we'll say about half a yard from outside the 15-yard line. They're going to line up big, and we'll see if it's a quarterback sneak for Ladd. They will try it, and Ladd gets it easily, getting to about the 13-yard line. It wasn't much because Ladd was able to line through the center of the field. So Ladd gets 2 and keeps the drive going for a first down.
And again, it was on the rush, Tom. This is where this Storm team has to now buckle down.
They're going no huddle this time. Ladd in a shotgun. Now he goes under center to checkpoint. Single setback is Pointer. Here's a snap by Ladd. A throw deep along the right side. And a pass is beautifully caught. Welcome to the end zone by Tony Green, who beat John Kennedy in the corner. He was able to stretch his arms out and haul it in. A great grab for Tony Green, and the Seahawks strike first.
Yep, corner touchdown pass. Maybe they surprised him, Tom.
Well, so much for them being a run team. They throw the element of surprise in, and it worked. So big win, so big score for the Capital City Seahawks, who strike first here in the midway point of this second quarter. A 13-yard touchdown pass from Daniel Ladd to Tony Green, and that opens the scoring up. Number 94 will try the extra point in just a moment, and holding will be the man who just caught that touchdown, Tony Green. So the Storm line up. Here's the snap. Fumbled snap, and continue to be fumbled. Somebody's got to pick it up, and the Storm do. Remember, it cannot be returned back, not like college. So the conversion just fails. And so at the midway point of the second quarter, a touchdown pass from Daniel Ladd to Tony Green, 13 yards out, and the Seahawks have a 6-0 lead over the Lehigh Valley Storm. So as we return here to Northwest D.C., the Capital City Seahawks about to kick off. They just took a 6-0 lead over the Lehigh Valley Storm thanks to a 13-yard touchdown pass from Daniel Ladd to Tony Green. A short kickoff along the right side. The Storm returned this one. It's Sean Myers, it looks like. No, I'm sorry. I stand corrected. Yolene Reddick along the far side, and he's tackled down about the 26-yard line. So the Storm now, they get a chance to respond to the opening points for the Seahawks. So what do you expect?
We expect, maybe they'll open up the offense a little bit, Tom. I mean, it's only 6. It's not like it's a 28-point deficit they're at right now, and it's still just the second quarter. So you would hope that, Coach McDowell has something going on that he can use up some clock and keep the defense off for at least a couple first downs.
Well, I think that's a major key right here for you folks. The Storm, remember, around this time last week, they were down 21-8 to the Albany Metro Maulers, and then, of course, the game got out of hand as the game continued onward. So let's see what happens here as quarterback Zach Zulli tries to get his troops back involved here. They're going to line up 3 wide. Slot left is Riddick Yusuf on 1st and 10 from the 26. Zulli will take the snap. He's going to roll to his left, has some time, now goes right. He's in trouble. He's slowing down. He tries to get by a couple of defenders, cannot. Down he goes for the second time in this game. Back to about the 19-yard line. The pocket collapses, and eventually it just crumbles. So a big sack there for the Seahawks.
Tom, he's got to have a clock in his head that, once you hit 3, 4, 5 seconds, you got to either get rid of the ball or run it. You just can't keep back there moving around hoping that some guy's going to miss you. This is semi-pro. These are good teams. These are ranked teams. It's not like you're playing against, low-level Pop Warner teams. He's got to have that clock.
Well, at least I think it was Ivory Coker who had that sack. So far, 2 sacks for the Seahawk defense. 2nd and 17, actually 16 from the 20-yard line. Zully takes the snap from the shotgun. He's going to throw to the left, and the pass just a little bit too high and incomplete. Intended for Tom Kolodziejski, but boy, you talk about throwing a Matt Harvey fastball. Zully did that. It was just a little too high for Kolodziejski to bring it down.
Yeah, he looked good. He took a 3-step drop, gave himself 1, 2, 3 seconds, threw the ball. The ball was coming out of there before the rush could get at him. So, these are baby steps. Again, it's playing in a new league. It's playing 11-11. He's got all that experience from college, but this is different. This is men. And it's not college kids.
That is very true. It'll be 3rd and 16, storming their own 20-yard line. Again, the shotgun Zully. 4 receivers evenly divided. Lamoureux lines up to the left. Waiting for the snap is Zully. Hard count. And then I guess flags went down off the hard count. And the Storm fell for the hard count because there's a false start on them.
Yeah, it looked like the wide receiver up top left a little early on that play.
But you can't be making these mistakes and expect to win games. Remember, the Storm on defense had 2 personal fouls. And, of course, the second one proved very, very costly when it came to the first score for the Seahawks. Just to recap, it's 6-0, Capital City Seahawks over the Lehigh Valley Storm thanks to a 13-yard touchdown pass from Daniel Ladd to Tony Green with a conversion fumbled and failed. So that's why it's only 6. Now Zully talking over Lamoureux and Kolodziejski, who's lining up as a inner wing receiver on the right. 3rd and 16 from the 20. Zully will take the snap. He's going to roll to his right, and he's now going to throw off his back foot and ends up throwing it pretty much to the far sideline and into the Seahawks bench. Incomplete. I believe they were looking for Devell Bird that time, but that was way overthrown. But I also thought the Seahawk defense really came after him that time.
Yeah, they rushed 4 down linemen from the beginning, and then they added a linebacker and outside D-back. They blitzed in from the outside. It looked like Lamoureux was going to pick up. But again, when it's that clock, Zach's got to keep working on getting these balls out of there.
And now with 4th and 16, it'll be punting time again for number 58. I think they're trying to line up the Storm for the punt coverage. Back for the Seahawks is Darrell Gibbons, who, of course, had that long punt return for a touchdown nullified not too long ago.
You would think, Tom, they're not going to kick directly to him.
It went over his head. It's going to go out of the end zone, and that's going to be a safety for the Capital City Seahawks, or if you want to call it a heavily delayed 2-point conversion gone in a different format. So the Seahawks end up getting a safety off a bad snap over the punter's head. It goes out of the end zone for a safety, and that makes it 8-0 Seahawks over the Lehigh Valley Storm. Let's catch our breath and be back in a moment.
Hello and welcome to Evans Lawn Care, one of the best lawn care services in the Lehigh Valley. Our mission is to handle all of your landscaping needs and to put you at ease. With our 5 years of experience of commercial and residential service, we hope to make sure to handle any of your lawn care needs. You deal directly with the owner-operator, and we're not happy unless you're happy. Contact us for a free estimate and ask about our 2 free cut specials, servicing the Lehigh Valley.
Back here at Woodrow Wilson High School here in Washington, D.C., Tom Wilkins along with Howard Gaber as the Capital City Seahawks right now have an 8-0 lead over the Lehigh Valley Storm. We just had a safety for the Seahawks as the Storm tried to...
We apologize for our cameraman because I just want to explain that we're in the 3rd floor classroom above the field, and the windows do not open up a lot, so a lot of it's on a very, very bad angle. So we're trying to keep getting a good angle so people at home don't look like it's a Batman show that's tilted. I'm dating myself again, Tom.
Or I just stick my head out the window. I'm sure some people want to close down on me,
Yeah, so that we just got to deal with it. What we have here, there's no clock on the field, so we can't bring you that. Everything's an estimation. So, we're just very happy that they lent us their little center here to use. And, like I said, hopefully it comes out fine on the tape.
Well, definitely agree with Howard Semin. We definitely appreciate the people at Woodrow Wilson High School and the Seahawks for giving us this opportunity here. By the way, following the safety, remember the offense free kicks to the defense from the 20-yard line. It'll be Zilli punting from the 20 and pops it to the far side, and it goes out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. And this is the first. I have never seen this. A free kick after a safety going out of bounds.
He either shanked it or he just didn't want to give it to Givens. Whoever that running back was that ran the ball all the way back.
Well, that is a fair point. Those of you who may have missed it earlier, Darrell Givens had an 87-yard punt return for a touchdown where it looked like he ran about 150 yards, but it was all called back because of a crackback during the return, and that forced the Seahawks back in their own territory. But they managed to come through with a touchdown, and since then a safety. So the officials are going to discuss where the ball is going to be spotted because the free kick went out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, Tom, for procedure, just like on a kickoff.
Well, I would have to think maybe 5 yards from the spot where it went out of bounds.
Yeah,
that'd be my guess. Yeah. But instead,
no, they're just spotting it.
Yeah, they're going to spot at the 48 of the Storm, and that is where the Seahawks will start. 1st and 10. Short field now, and looks like a different quarterback this time for the Seahawks. As here's a handoff to Tim Short, and Short will get a literally short gain. If not anything, he might not have gotten anything back to the line of scrimmage, brought down by Michael McDermott on that play.
Yeah, again, you could see the Storm was in the backfield, and again, once they get in the backfield, if that quarterback's handing off the ball in a play action, you've got to option any type of option. You've got to crush him. That's the play. Is to start taking some of these running backs out. If you can't figure out who has the ball, just whoever had it. And
well, incidentally, in there right now is number 19, James Boyd, who's a wide receiver. So I think they're running the Wildcat, the Bobcat, the Thundercat. I don't know what cat, but whatever the case is.
They're going 5 wide, Tom. So
indeed, empty backfield, 4 receivers on the left. It's actually Brett Brown who's running it to the 45 and is tripped up. He went down to about the 42-yard line. The ball did come out, and there's a flag down to who cares about that play? It's holding against the Seahawks anyway.
Yeah, so we're moving it back. That holding's going to go back from the line of scrimmage.
So they lined up an empty backfield with 4 receivers on the left, and the Seahawks still got called for holding, and that might be a break the Storm could use.
Yeah, 10 yards anytime, and you don't have to worry about the down because, it's still going to be 2nd down. So we're hoping, again, it's a deep play where it cost them yards. You gave up yards, and it cost them yards for a bad holding.
Well, they're going to say 10 yards from the spot of the infraction, which happened at the Storm 44. So they back it up 10 yards to the Seahawks' own 46-yard line. So in essence, it'll be 2nd and 16 now as the Seahawks will have it from their own 46. And I think this is going to be a big play for the Storm defense here. Remember, they're without Orton Marshman this week with a shoulder injury, couldn't make the trip. Here is Ladd with a pass intercepted. It was picked off by Jaron Elder, and he's able to bring it down to the 42-yard line. It went off the hands of Greg Bowman, and Jaron Elder came in with the arrow, picks it off. Huge turnover, and the Storm will have it at their own 41.
Over 8 years, the Fast Performance was built. During this time, we worked with many high-level athletes, including 18 track and field state champions, all-state performers in multiple sports, and professional athletes. Along with building Fast, the Fast Tech Reaction Trainer and Fast Strength Coach software was developed. By working with organizations, schools, and teams across the country, we can improve your performance and help you reach your goals.
1st and 10, the Storm just got a big turnover. Handoff, Lamoureux slips a couple of tackles, crosses the 45, somehow is able to hang on to the ball. Looked like his arm was outstretched as he was holding the ball, but it never came out. He comes out with a 4-yard gain. Just getting back to what I was saying, that pass by Daniel Ladd went off the fingertips of Greg Bowman into the hands of Jaron Elder. A big interception for the Storm. Of course, last week, it was Stephen Lewis who came in with the interception, but here Jaron Elder steps up in a big way. Let's see if the Storm can capitalize. 2nd and 5 from their own 46-yard line, and all of a sudden the right side jumps. Looked like moving early was Jarrett Regal, so that 5-yard gain just went to a recycling bin, and it'll be a false start against the Storm. Just a reminder, folks, you're, of course, watching on the live stream feed courtesy of HSG Productions, of course, livestream.com. Of course, you can check it out on your digital device. All you have to do is download the live stream app. Also taken care of by WALNcableradio.com and rockingthevalley.com, also part of the Lehigh Valley Storm broadcasting crew. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Here's a handoff right side. That's Deontay Romaine, and Romaine can't quite roam his way past the 41-yard line. So no gain on the play, and the Storm will have a 3rd and 10 coming up. Looks like one of the Seahawks, that's Dorman El-Yusuf, was a little slow getting up, but it looks like he will be okay. As now the Storm have a very important 3rd and 10 coming up, as the ball will be spotted their own 41-yard line. The Storm trail 8-0 to the Capital City Seahawks. Touchdown pass, failed conversion, and a safety as a punt snap went out of the end zone. Here's Zully taking the snap. He's looking. He's under a rush. Has the duck. He may run. We'll see. Yes, he will. 45. Slips a tackle midfield and then dives over around the midfield stripe. We'll see where they spot it. Looks like the near side judge might be giving him a nice spot. If he does, that might move the chains. We'll see. He's spotting at the 49-yard line of the Seahawks. I'm sure head coach Darren McDowell may ask for a measurement here, but it looks like he might be a little bit short. Yeah, maybe a foot. Yeah, just into Seahawk territory at about the 49 2/3 yard line. So 4th and about half a yard. Huge play for Zach Zully and the offense for the Storm. Let's see what they do. Here's the snap. They hand it off Romaine, and Romaine loses 2. A helmet goes flying off in the meantime. The rush came on, but unfortunately for Romaine, he could not get out of the first tackle. That was Terrence Pete. Kennard Pollock helped out. Oh, the Storm had a great opportunity to come through and get some points, but couldn't even get a first down on that drive.
Tom, very similar again to last week where they had that 4th and short and they gave it to Kozar and he got stopped for a 2-yard loss. You know, the short yardage game is not there yet. You know, that's one of the toughest to block, your gaps, and make sure you give them a hole to get through. So, you know, again, we got to call on the defense, Tom, to keep it close.
And they're going to need to make a big stop here to keep it 8-0. If you just joined us, it was a 13-yard touchdown pass by Seahawk quarterback Daniel Ladd over to Tony Green, who made a great outstretched catch. That gave the Seahawks the first points. The conversion failed on a fumbled snap, and then he added on a safety as the Storm tried to punt, but the ball went over the punter's head and out of the end zone. That's why it's 8-0 Seahawks right now over the Lehigh Valley Storm. And once again, Seahawks have it in Storm territory at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Back goes Ladd in the shotgun. He's got to throw a deep one on the left side, and that pass
Gotta be picked.
I think,
Gotta be picked.
might be intercepted. Is it? Yes, it is intercepted. Took a long time for the officials to decide, but Yulene Reddick bails out the Storm defense or offense again. They're going to get the ball back. That's 2 straight passes by Daniel Ladd and 2 straight passes to the wrong team. And the Storm get it back. Okay, Storm get the ball right back. 1st and 10 around 20-yard line. Let's see what they make of this. Handoff, and this time it is Rob Kuzer trying to give the running game a spark, but unfortunately Kuzer had no room along the right sideline, ends up losing a yard to the 19-yard line. So how do you like the Storm secondary so far?
Not bad, Tom. Couple picks. You know, that's what you want. You want a couple picks.
Well,
you want to get the ball back.
You got them on back-to-back plays. Of course, Jaron Elder had the first one, and Yolene Reddick comes through with the other one. So we'll see if the Storm can take advantage of it. Interesting stat for you. For the previous 2 interceptions so far in the first 6 quarters of the season, in both interceptions, the end result have been 4 and out for the Lehigh Valley Storm. They're hoping it does not happen again in this series. 2nd and 11 from the 19-yard line as Zully has 4 receivers, 2 on each side. He takes the snap. He's under a rush. Blitz coming, caught by Yusuf Reddick. Reddick will try and split out tackle 25, and that's where he will step out for a gain of 6. Daryl Gibbons able to make the push out there, but a manageable 3rd and 5 coming up for the Storm, and I think this is going to be a very big play in this game so far, Howard.
Well, they want to keep the ball. You don't want to lose the ball in this type of play. Yusuf does a lot of curling. He likes to come back and curl, pick up speed, and use that speed on the outside. But again, sometimes it may cost him yards. But he's a positive player. He's going to get you positive yardage any way he can.
Exactly. 3rd and we're going to say 4 from the 26-yard line. Rob Kuzer to the right of Zach Zully, who takes a snap. He's looking. He stumbles, going to roll to his right. Now he's running for his life. Let's see if he throws. He's going to throw a deep one right side. It is caught! Marcus Hutchins catches it deep into territory of the Seahawks at the 25-yard line. That's a 49-yard pickup. What a pass by Zach Zully, who was able to run through, and right at the 2-minute, actually they're going to call timeout here, Lehigh Valley Storm able to gain 50 yards to the Seahawks 24-yard line. When we come back, we'll describe that big play once again. Okay, the Lehigh Valley Storm with possibly their biggest threat since midway first quarter. They are at the Seahawks 24-yard line after a great pass by Zach Zully running around to the right, able to find Marcus Hutchins, who brought it down at the Seahawks 24-yard line. On 1st and 10, 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Zully takes the snap. He's looking. He's under a rush. He's got to throw a deep one. Looking for Hutchins again, and the pass ends up being incomplete. The defender ends up losing his helmet. That's Marcellus Manier, but way over the head Hutchins that time. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's a deep pass, and it looks like Hutchins made sure that no one was going to catch that ball. He just basically tackled the defensive back.
I don't think the president could have caught that ball.
No, not where he is, where we are.
But if he's not in D.C., then nothing else matters.
Plus, it's got to get through a few Secret Service men before it gets to him.
Yeah. Anyway, 2nd and 10 from the 24-yard line. Storm trailing 8-0 to the Capital City Seahawks. All the points scored in the second quarter of this game. Zully again to shotgun. 4 receivers evenly divided, moving Rob Kuzer over to the left-hand side. Zully waits on the snap. Takes it. Good one. Has him a little time. Looking. Now under a rush. Rolls to his right, directing traffic. Zully run far side. He gets to the 20-yard line and out of bounds as an official's cap went on the field. I'm guessing that a receiver went out of bounds and came back in bounds, making him ineligible. But nonetheless, a 4-yard pickup for Zully to make it 3rd and 6 and into the Pepsi zone, I guess.
Yeah, Tom, the first visit for this year in this for this game, not this year. Geez, sorry.
And I forgot to mention that 50-yard pass to Hutchins resulted in a Wegmans first down. I forgot to mention Wegmans, voted as one of the Fortune 100 best companies to work for in 2015. Hey, you want to work for them? Hey, there's a lot on their website, Wegmans.com. Definitely check them out. So wanted to throw that in there as well, as it is 3rd and 6. Storm at the 20-yard line of the Seahawks. Again, evenly divided, 4 receivers. Kuzer to the right. Zully in the shotgun waits on the snap, which comes now. He's looking. He's under a rush. Has some time. He's going to run. A flag down. Throw up the side. And a pass is caught. Welcome to the end zone. But let's see what the flag is all about. It's at the 25-yard line. And guess what? Forget I said anything. It's a hold against the Storm.
It looked tough, because it could have been a chop block the way the running back went down to block number 10. We'll just have to see what he calls. But
and I'm willing to say that it might be Devon Gordon who wore number 84 last year and had that sensational year for the Storm.
It was a hold, Tom.
But unfortunately, that touchdown to him gets nullified. A 10-yard penalty against the Storm. So let's just say each team has had a touchdown taken away from them. And it's going to be third down. They're going to spot it at the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 16. Do we see another pass in Zilli's future?
I hope so, Tom. You know, even if not, Tom, this is 2-down territory for the Storm. You know, they don't have to get all 16 on one or all 15 on one play. They can split it up if they want to get 8 and 8. But you know what? They've got to put something on the board here, Tom.
Right, because this is a little bit of a different Storm team. Of course, they had a kicking game to rely on, but so far not this year, as the Storm are looking at 3rd and 16. Ball spotted the Seahawks 30-yard line. They're going to crunch a bunch formation, pardon me, Nestle, on that one, on the near side. 4 receivers, 3 to the left. Kuzer now moves to the right. Zully in the shotgun. Let's see what the snap comes about for Zully this time. He takes a snap. He's looking. He's under a blitz. He's going to run to his right. Let's see what he does. He's going to run. He will throw deep right side. And, oh, just over the head of what looked to be Gordon, incomplete. I mean, he let that thing fly, and it just went over Gordon's head.
Yeah, he's, again, under a heavy rush. You know, they're sending two backs. You know, 2 backs from either side, and the defense is not picking them up, and the running back can't pick them up because they've got so many coming at them.
But here's the interesting thing, too. They have spread the defense of the Seahawks so far, and what looks to be I think we might have a 2-minute timeout here, or is it the other half?
Yeah, it looks like the 2-minute warning or the half. That was the half, Tom.
You know, no, they gave me timeout Storm, and it looks like the officials decide on halftime. So you know what? I guess if people are going the other way, then we're going to go away for a little bit. So just to recap really quick, a 13-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Daniel Ladd to Tony Green with a fumbled conversion that failed, and then a punt for the Storm that went over the head of the punter and out of the end zone for a safety. Those are the only 8 points so far. We certainly have a lot more to get to, but I think moistening our throats with water might be the thing to do. So at halftime, here in Washington, D.C. at Woodrow Wilson High School, the Capital City Seahawks over the Storm by a count of 8-0. Let's take a little breather and come back with the second half in just a little bit.
Yep.
Welcome back to Woodrow Wilson High School here in Northwest D.C. It's a crazy one, Tom Wilkins, along with Howard Gaber, here calling World Football Federation actions. We're about ready to start the second half. The Capital City Seahawks have an 8-0 lead over the Lehigh Valley Storm, and the Seahawks will receive the ball to begin the second half. Before we go any further, quick reminder that, of course, this game is the property of the World Football Federation, the Lehigh Valley Storm, and Capital City Seahawks, with all rights to this broadcast and telecast reserved under international conventions. Any rebroadcast or any use of this telecast/broadcast is expressly prohibited without prior permission from the Lehigh Valley Storm football team, World Football Federation, WALN Cable Radio, RockingTheValley.com, and Livestream.com HSG Productions. So had to get that mouthful in there as a regular disclaimer because I don't think I'm getting much time doing that as we get into the second half. But Howard, do you think the Storm in the first half, for the most part, come through a little bit better than the previous game?
Oh, yeah, Tom. I mean, when you only leave up 8 points, you're down 1 score. Basically, just 1 score is all they need. And you know what? I think not only do they need to score, but they need to stop them this first set of downs and break the ice. You know, they broke the ice against the Metro Maulers and put up, 22 more. So not unknown for them to do this.
Yeah, it would be key to break the ice, except it is 82 degrees outside, so I don't know how long the ice will last. But anyway, Storm about to kick off here in the second half, as the kickoff is a short squibber live ball after 10 yards. Goes by one guy, picked up by the back man, which is Raymond Mack, who goes around the far side to the 30 and down to about the 32-yard line. I think Rodney Gilmore was able to, it looked like 14 from this angle. No, I beg your pardon. That's Mike Kuzer who made the tackle that time, and it'll be Seahawk ball, 1st and 10 to 32.
Yep. A good play on the kickoff. Keep them down in their end, and let's hope we can get the ball back.
To recap what happened in the first half, there was no scoring in the first quarter, though the Storm did have a couple pretty successful drives close to the Seahawk 20-yard line. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get any points. As a matter of fact, Zach Zully threw an interception late in the first quarter to stop a drive for the Storm. Meanwhile, here's Daniel Ladd on 1st and 10. He's going to hand this one off on the first play of the second half to Akil Smalley, who's able to cross the 35, maybe get to the 36. Gain of 4 for Smalley, making it 2nd and 6.
Good gain, Tom. Again, on first down, gives them a manageable second. Again, this defense has got to protect the run because this is the run option. That's what they're going to use for the second half now that they're up.
If they race to a bigger lead, I guarantee you there'll be a lot more run option just to run the clock. But just remember, official time is being kept on the field. That's why for those who are watching on live stream, there is no countdown clock. Here on 2nd and 6, there's a handoff to Smalley who goes around right side, crossing the 40, 45, midfield, and into Storm territory at the 48-yard line before Jaron Elder made the stop. A big play of 16 yards and a first down for Capital City in their longest run of the game so far.
Yeah, they came out popping. They came out ready to go. Good coaches make adjustments at halftime. And it looks like they made the adjustment on the run.
And don't forget, this is a team that has, of course, won every game the last couple of seasons for their respective leagues. And here the Seahawks realizing, of course, last week they came off a 3-point loss to the Central Penn Piranha to find themselves at 0-2. Of course, the Storm don't want to find themselves in that position either. First and 10 to 48-yard line of the Storm, and now flags down as it looked like a false starter along the right side of the line. One of the Storm people jumped, but it looked like the right tackle for the Seahawks jumped first, so it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. That'll force 1st and 15 back into the Seahawks' own territory.
Yeah, Tom, it was looks like, they forced the jump. They came over a little bit, and it looks like they jumped just a little early when the Storm came over the line.
That's all it takes, Howard. Don't forget, too, this game being proudly presented by Wegmans and Pepsi. Of course, you might want to check out, again, the Pepsi Pass downloaded onto your smartphone and all that stuff. Go to Pepsi.com for more details on how you can get free concert tickets. 1st and 15, the Seahawks at their own 47-yard line. Ladd drops the snap and now has the fall on it. He is touched down to 39-yard line by Keenan Walls. So I think that might be the easiest sack you've ever seen in your entire life in a loss of 8.
I don't know, Tom. The scorekeeper's going to have to look at that, see if they were set up to pass or if they were set up for another one of their option runs. But I didn't see it back there. Did you?
Well, it was supposed to be a pass, but unfortunately for Ladd dropped the ball and had to end up falling on it. So turns out the Seahawks are going the wrong way. A false start penalty, and now an 8-yard loss puts them 2nd and 23 at their own 39-yard line. Shotgun formation for Ladd, 4 receivers, takes a snap, looking, throws a pass, is tipped and intercepted! Jaron Elder, free on the far sideline to the 30, the 20, I don't see any flags! Welcome to the end zone! Jaron Elder, get you lottery tickets! It's a pick 6! The Storm have hatched and have shown up on the scoreboard. A 2-point conversion can tie this thing up.
Tom, again, if the offense can't do it, the defense will.
And they did the 3rd interception of the day for Daniel Ladd, and this time Jaron Elder's 2nd pick. This time results in 6, and I'm sure DC Lottery might be a little annoyed by that call, but the Storm get on the board, a defensive score, and now a 2-point conversion. Remember, the Storm last week were 2 out of 3 in 2-point conversion, so they have a chance to tie this thing up. It's now 8-6 with a conversion pending.
Yeah, Tom, and if you remember, both times it was Zulli going in on the quarterback keeper. Well, no, I'm sorry, one was a pass.
Well, the first one was the keeper, and then the second half it was a slant pass to DeVell Bird for the second 2-point conversion, and that, of course, followed the Mike Kuzer punt back in the second half. So the Storm come up with a huge play on defense, and what they're going to do is line up for the conversion. Looks like Lamoureux is to the right, and to the left is Romaine. Zulli will stand a shotgun, 3 wide, slot to the right, far side. Here's the snap. Zulli looking. He throws, and a pass. Oh, could not quite get into Gordon's breadbasket. A little low and incomplete. So the conversion fails, but a pick 6 of 47 yards for Jaron Elder gets the Storm closer as they trail the Seahawks now by a count of 8-6. Back here in Northwest D.C., we have a game again. A Jaron Elder pick six for 47 yards and a touchdown gave the Lehigh Valley Storm points and life. And although they missed the two-point conversion, they were able to get it down to 8-6. And keep this in mind, folks. Daniel Ladd may have a touchdown pass, but he has thrown 3 interceptions, and this time the Storm were able to capitalize. So I think what's going to happen is Zully is going to kick this thing off. Back for the Seahawks, Alonzo Griffin. He's standing at about his 10-yard line. Zully kicks it off. It's going to be over everybody's head. And, it takes a bounce at about the 2. It's a live ball. Picked up by Raymond Mack. Mack will get to about the 10 to 15. Go. Not even the 15. The 13-yard line. So now the Seahawks, they're up against it. They get a bad bounce on the kickoff, and they begin deep in their own territory.
Yeah, Tom, they switched up the kickers, and you know what? A good coach notices that and moves his guys back. These guys were expecting a short kick, just like the Storm have kicked almost all year, and all of a sudden they get a boomer, and next thing you know, you're backed up to your own 13-yard line.
That is certainly true, and that could be a huge, huge part for this game, as right now the Seahawks will have 1st and 10 for their own 13-yard line. It's only 8-6 now, so this is about to become a very interesting game because you know one of those teams do not want to be 0-2 after this is over. 3 wide slot right. Here's a handoff, and it is going to be taken down for a loss. Akeel Smalley tried to go through on the right side, but instead there's Dominic Jackson. Yes, he is for real. No gain on the play.
Yeah, that's a great stop. And now, this looks very similar again to the Albany Metro Maulers. Remember, they almost had him in the end zone, and he barely escaped that one play last week.
Yes, indeed. But here this time, the Storm defense needs to carry things out because, remember, momentum died very quickly on a couple of occasions in this game. Here we go on 2nd and 10 from the 13. 94 is the quarterback now. He's going to take the snap. He's going to try and run. Bashes to the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. Gains 3 on the play. Brought down by Michael McDermott. But now the Seahawks, with their 3rd quarterback in this game, faced with a 3rd and 7 pretty deep in their own territory.
When watching their film from last year, they did use 2 to 3 different backs, but I don't remember seeing a different quarterback. But, substitution, it's hot out there. We're nice and cool inside the building here, but it's still very warm on the field.
Well, at least we got a breeze going into the window, but we have water instead of pickle juice, so we can hydrate that way. Yeah, you knew that was coming, Howard. 3rd and 7, and actually 6 on the 17-yard line. 94 again at quarterback in motion this time. James Boyd to the left-hand side. They're going to line up 4 wide rather. 3 to the left-hand side. 94 will take the snap. He will rush to his right. He's looking. He's got to throw a fade out on the right side. And the pass is incomplete. It wouldn't matter because that ball was going out of bounds anyway. Yep, it was intended for Delonte Kelly. But right there on coverage was Reddick and Jaron Elder. I'll tell you what, we were waiting for helmets to throw him out on the hat trick just like Marshman did last year.
Yeah, he was out of bounds when he was catching the ball anyways. But, again, it's a switching of the quarterback. The defense has to be ready. They can't peek in the backfield. They got to play the ball, and they did perfectly on that one, which is what you want to see.
Well, let's just say there's got to be bad blood to see who's going to get the next points in this contest, but let's see what the Seahawks decide to do here on 4th down. We're about midway 3rd quarter. The Storm have not had an offensive possession yet, and all reason being I beg your pardon. The only possession technically was a pick 6 for Jaron Elder for that 47-yard touchdown. 94 looks like he'll be back to punt. Yusuf Reddick standing around the midfield strike. It's got to be a fake punt. 94 takes it, splits a tackle, 20. He's going to have a 1st down, 25, 27-yard line. Yusuf Reddick read the play, but it turned out 94 went the other way and picks up 10 yards. A gutsy call by the Seahawks. They keep possession 1st and 10. Let's see where this play leads into turning points.
Yeah, Tom, looking at the play from up here, again, we have the vantage point of being up 4 stories high. You could see that he was really tight to the line there. Abnormally tight to the line. And that could have been a key for the defense to know that maybe he wasn't punting or he was going to try to quick kick it. But, again, you can only defense so much out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a very risky proposition here, but still, it was a 12-yard gain and 1st and 10 for the Seahawks. Their own 29-94 again. The handoff bouncing off right tackles was a D'Angelo Smith, but unfortunately, all I have to say is that was untitled. How does it feel to go down for a 2-yard loss to the 27-yard line? So good play by the Storm interior.
Yeah, Tom, they're in the backfield. You know, you got 3 guys around them. Someone's got to be able to hold them up, and someone else has got to jar that ball loose. You know, these guys haven't fumbled yet. You know, and they're doing all the option running, all these handoffs and everything, and there hasn't been one loose ball yet. So I'm hoping that the Storm defense can get it and you know, get that turnover.
Well, right now it's going to be a big time for it because it is 2nd and we'll say about 12 from the 27-yard line. 94 again to shotgun. Here's a snap and a pass. Oh, that was in the breadbasket. Delonte Kelly, and he dropped it incomplete.
Yeah, he was again. Looked like Kozer was right there in the backfield again, arms up, trying to get in front of the ball. You know, if he gets any piece of that ball, it's a pick 6. Any piece at all. You know, and again, that's what they need to do. They need to be back there. They need to be looking for turnovers. They need to be getting the ball back.
Well, here's a big play coming up. 3rd and 12. The Seahawks are on 27-yard line. Again, number 94, whom unfortunately we don't have a name for. He's into shotgun formation, 4 receivers, 3 to the left side. Single back to the right, 94 back, looking, fakes his throw, backs up, he's being chased, he has a scramble, ends up throwing in, the pass is high, and it's incomplete. It was off the fingertips of Tony Green, almost deflected into Alonzo Griffin's hands, but it ends up incomplete. There was a flag down there on the near side. I just noticed that. It's holding against the Seahawks. I'm sure the Storm would have to refuse that.
They got to refuse it. Get that ball back.
And they most certainly will, so that will force a 4th down, and once again, 94 will probably end up punting here. So right now, the Lehigh Valley Storm have some sustained life here as we're, I guess, a little more midway or so through the 3rd quarter. It is 8-6 in favor of the Capital City Seahawks over the Lehigh Valley Storm. In case you just joined us late, in the 2nd quarter, it was a 13-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Daniel Ladd to Tony Green, who hauled it in on a great catch. The conversion failed. Here's the snap, and 94 punts it. It's blocked. It's blocked. Going the other way. Who's going to pick it up? It is down at about, I think, the 2-yard line, and the Storm are going to have 1st and goal from the 2. Holy mackerel! But their flag's down the opposite side of the field. What could this be all about, Howard?
I couldn't tell you, Tom, unless they were offside or somebody left early. That would be the only penalty you get on a side, Judge.
Yeah, but the flag was 40 yards away, and there are 2 of them, one on the near side, one in the middle, and oh my gosh, a substitution violation against the Storm, and that block punt. Man, we've had a punt return for a touchdown, we have a touchdown pass, now a block punt, all nullified on both teams' sides.
Tom, it's okay. Tom, it's only a 5-yard penalty, Tom, so it's going to stay 4th down. But you're right; they would have had the ball on the 2. You
Once
know,
again, game-changing play.
Yeah, these are and that you can only blame on the guys out there and the coach because you know what? He's the only one substituting. You come off, you come on.
Yeah, those mental mistakes just cannot happen, Howard. And last couple of games has really been the case, and
you got to overcome it. You know, and this Storm team is capable. You know, we've seen it. We've seen it several times where they've overcome this.
Well,
and now look how deep he is. You can see how.
Snap. Sorry about that, Howard.
Yep,
and he
that's
gets
okay.
a little bit of a ground ball punt that takes a Capital City bounce and goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line of the Storm. That's 53 yards field position. So the Storm will have it back. They trail 8-6, and we'll have more explanation on that crazy play after this.
Jeepers, it's the creeper!
What do we do now?
It's a mystery.
I know. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Zoinks! It's Lucy, like our favorite State Farm agent lady.
Hi, gang. I'll handle it. And that's not really a monster.
Creeper! Hey!
Mr. Carswell!
You meddling kids.
State Farm.
They're on 45-yard line, and people were moving in obscure directions, so flags are down. I'm assuming false start in the Storm. Somebody jumped that time. So just to recap what had happened, there was a fourth down play for the Seahawks where the punt was blocked and recovered by the Storm at the 2-yard line, but a substitution foul forced a 5-yard penalty that allowed 94 to punt again, and the punt ended up going out of bounds at the 45-yard line. So just an incredible game and where big plays have been nullified by huge penalties. Now 1st and 15 for Zully at their own 40-yard line. Storm trailing by 2, 8-6. Here's the handoff. That's Lamoureux. Spins out of a tackle, 40, 43-yard line before being thrown back. And that looked to be Darrell Griffin's again. So the Storm trying to establish the run here on technically that first offensive play of the second half for them.
You got to look, to set the run up, get a couple yards out of it, and then look to burn them. It's again, you gotta rely on your linemen. You got to rely on the people that are the big bodies up there. Give them a hole, give them a gap to get through.
Okay, it'll be 2nd and 12. Storm their own 43-yard line. They trail 8-6. So far, the scoring in this game: a 13-yard touchdown pass from Daniel Ladd to Tony Green with the conversion failing. Then on a Storm punt, the snap went over the head of the punter and in the end zone for a safety. That made 8-0. That was a halftime lead for the Seahawks. But Jaron Elder, with his second interception of the game, pulls up a pick six from 47 yards out. The conversion fails. That's why it's 8-6 Seahawks right now. I would say pretty late in the third quarter. 2nd and 12 from the 43-yard line. Here is Zully taking the snap. He rolls to his right. He's being rushed. He's going to throw a screen. Pass is caught. Lamoureux crossing midfield. Loses the football as he goes down. And do the Seahawks have the ball back? Yes, they do. The Seahawks recover on the fumble. That was Calvin Dickens on the recovery in the Storm. Only 2 plays in their first drive of the second half. They turned the ball over. That is not a good sign.
Jeepers, it's the creeper!
What do we do now?
It's a mystery.
I know. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Zoinks! It's Lucy, like our favorite State Farm agent lady.
Hi, gang. I'll handle it. And that's not really a monster.
Creeper. Hey!
And 10 from midfield. 94 again, the quarterback. The handoff is to Smalley, who has a hole along the left side, crossing the 45 and down to about the 43-yard line. Gain of 7, brought down by Skippo Marsh, but not before a big 7-yard gain. So second turnover of the game for the Lehigh Valley Storm. A pass caught by Cody Lamoureux, but he lost the football going on down in midfield. And once again, Calvin Dickens comes through the recovery, and that's why the Seahawks still have that 2-point lead, and they're looking for more. 2nd and 2 now from the 42-yard line of the Storm. 94 still in quarterback, second straight possession. Snap, handoff, Smalley again, and Smalley this time brought down for a literal small gain at the 41-yard line. Mike Kuzer was able to make the stop.
Yeah, it brings up a 3rd and short if they spot the ball where it looks like right now. Yep, it's going to be 3rd and short. So you expect another run.
You would have to say so. And I mean, the Storm, for the most part, have done a pretty decent job in stopping the run. However, there have been times where counter plays and such by the Seahawks have allowed their running backs to gain more yards. And now it could be a ground game here from here on out. 3rd and a yard from the 41-yard line as 94 tries the quarterback sneak. And boy, did he sneak all right. He's still going, crossing 35 down to the 30-yard line. This guy refuses to go down. It reminds me of somebody we saw last week. An 11-yard pickup for number 94, and that's a big first down for the Seahawks.
And that's out of a quarterback sneak, looking for 1 or 2 yards.
Yeah, I totally agree that. And now, wait a minute, we got a timeout called by the Lehigh Valley Storm. I am sure the defense didn't like what they saw here. So quick break here as we're late in the third. 8-6 Seahawks lead the Lehigh Valley Storm.
Jeepers, it's the creeper!
What do we do now?
It's a mystery.
I know. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Zoinks! It's Lucy, like our favorite State Farm agent lady.
Hi, gang. I'll handle it. And that's not really a monster.
Creeper. Hey!
Mr. Carswell!
You meddling kids.
State Farm takes the mystery out of dealing with insurance. Get to a groovier state.
When we started Wegmans Organic Farm,
Night sock hop, which will follow tonight's Storm Capital City game, again on WALN Cable Radio, the Party Channel, as the Lehigh Valley's pioneer cable radio station. It's the home of WALN's Happy Jack, Alex, and the Party Channel girls. If you want to listen to more, it's WALNCableRadio.com, where you get sentimental hits Monday through Friday and polkas all weekend. Boy, I'd like to see somebody do a polka in the end zone if they tried to score, but not sure if that will happen. You never know. Unless we have the son of Terrell Owens come out. I don't know. Anyway, it is 1st and 10 for the Seahawks at the Storm 30-yard line. Number 94 again in at quarterback. He will take the snap and hand to Smalley. And Smalley goes down for a 3-yard loss. Big penetration on the right-hand side. And that was led by Eric Wiley, who brought him down. That's a big defensive stop.
Yeah, Tom, number 42 came in there late as he has done in the past. And again, we got 2 to 3 men on the ball carrier. Got to get the ball out.
Exactly.
Got to get it.
Wiley was there, and let's not forget Keenan Walls. I forgot to mention that you brought him up. So 2nd and 13 now. Seahawks at the Storm 33-yard line. Pretty big moment in this game. They're traveling left to right. Of course, they'll switch during the final quarter. Number 94 looks like he'll be in the shotgun this time. Smalley will line up to its left. 3 receivers, slot to the left this time. And it will be a play action and a throw by 94 left side. A pass is dropped! Oh my goodness!
Tom.
Raymond Mack ended up going crack with the ball. He couldn't bring it down. That was a touchdown if he brought it in, but he drops the porcelain plate. And it's 3rd and 13 instead. Huge break for the Storm.
Yeah, Tom. He had a little separation there at the end. Looked like, he got away from him a little bit. And, thank goodness that pass was overthrown. We don't know. We're not down on the field whether it went through him or not. But, those are tough passes to catch when it's right directly over your head at night with the lights that are here.
Well, yeah, it takes a lot of concentration to get that done. But in the meantime, 3rd and 13, the Seahawks at the Storm 33-yard line. Of course, they're lined up in white. 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Smalley to the left of number 94 at quarterback, who takes the snap. He's looking. He again throws left side, and the pass. Is it a catch? No, incomplete. It's intended for James Boyd. He thought he brought it down, but the official along the far side was right there to say, no, it's 4th down instead.
That's a big play, Tom. He gets that ball on 1st down, they're in business, and he just was out of bounds. It looked like some of the guys on their sideline wanted to differ with the referee, but, here we go, Tom. This is pivotal. 3rd quarter.
Well, of course, nearing the end of the 3rd quarter, the Seahawks have a 4th and 13. Now, I'm assuming they don't have a kicking game, so they're probably going to go for it or try and pooch punt. If they can do that, they put the Storm way deep in their own territory.
No, they're going for it, Tom. They're not pooching anything.
Well, they're going to bunch the formation along the left-hand side. 4 receivers, 3 to the left. Smalley to the left and number 94 in the shotgun. 4th and 13. Back goes 94. Looking. Throws up the middle. Passes incomplete. It went through the hands of J.D. Crandall. The Storm forced the 4 and out for the Capital City Seahawks, and they will get the ball back 1st and 10 when we return, and the Seahawks lead the Storm 8-6.
when we started Wegmans Organic Farm, we found out why most organics tasted better. It was the strength of the soil. When you don't use artificial pesticides or fertilizers, your soil has to be rich and strong. This makes crops taste better. We also found these high tunnels help us grow 10 months a year instead of just 10 weeks, using only the sun for energy. Better tasting crops grown right here in our region. Every day, you get our best.
Here we go.
Okay, we are back. 1st and 10 for Zach Zoli and his crew. The Storm, they're on 33-yard line. Let's see what they do with 3 receivers, slot to the left and the near side. Zoli with a snap. He's going to throw a screen that is dropped by Yusuf Reddick, incomplete. But I'll tell you what, Zoli did not have much time to get that pass off.
No, he definitely did not. And, you know, it probably was better that he dropped that pass because he had 2 guys right directly in front of him.
Well, the Storm need to do something here. They forced 3 interceptions from quarterback Daniel Ladd, and I'm guessing that's probably why he is no longer in the game and 94 is in there instead. But the other big key here, they forced the Seahawks to turn the ball over on downs, and now the Storm have to make something out of it. 2nd and 10 for their own 33-yard line. Zully again in the shotgun between split receivers. Same formation as before. Back goes Zully. He pump fakes. Got to go deep ball looking for Gordon left side, and he
Got
couldn't
separation.
quite catch it. Incomplete. I don't see any flags down.
No, he looked like he was breaking away, but their D-back stayed right with him the whole way down.
Lorenzo Fisher on the play in coverage was able to knock that away. It wasn't quite the most perfect of passes, but I'm sure Zully had the right idea. Now it's 3rd and 13, and the Storm are going to really need to do something here.
Yeah, Tom, I'm not a big fan of sending the plays in with the quarterback. It's just me. A lot of the teams use it because it's easier, but you know what? It tires the quarterback out. He's got to come sideline to sideline every play. There's got to be a better way. But again, they're learning. They're still learning the offense.
You're exactly right. Only Darren McDowell's second game. 3rd and 10, Storm are on 33-yard line. The shotgun is Zully. 4 receivers evenly divided here. He takes a snap. He's looking under a rush to his right. He's hit as he throws the ball, and a pass incomplete. That was intended for Marcus Hutchins, but Zully really took a hammer shot from Marcellus Manier, and the Storm, they still can't convert. They go 3 and out.
Yeah, that's not good. It's an empty possession. You can't have a lot of them. But you know what? Again, Tom, it's only 2 points. You never know here. Never know. Semi-pro football, bad snap, bad fumble, bad anything, and you're in.
I have seen a lot of those in my days in the years I've been doing these football games. We've been some strange plays that end up to be permanent momentum changers in the game. Zully will be back to punt for the Storm, and it looks like Raven Mack and Darrell Gibbons will be back to return for the Seahawks here. So we're late in the 3rd quarter. We'll see what Zully does in trying to get this punt off. He gets a snap, and he's got pump fake. He looks and fakes it, throws a deep one on the right side, and I don't understand why they called that play. It went all the way incomplete. The play completely backfires. The Storm end up turning the ball over on downs yet again. Zully's wondering what on earth just happened here. So the Storm turn it over on downs, and trailing 8-6 to the Seahawks, they give up horrendous field position.
Tom, that's got to be a set play. That's the second time we've seen him fade out to the right and look to pass. And that time, instead of kicking it, he passed it. But, again, you're passing it to 6 D-backs with 2 receivers.
That was one of those I don't get it calls. But then again, there might be a reason why they're trying it to make sure that it works. But in a critical game like this, you got to figure, you don't want to go back home 0-2. You got to make field position a priority. And unfortunately, the Storm tried to keep the ball on 4th down their own territory, and it completely backfired on them. So back come the Capital City Seahawks with a 2-point lead at 8-6. 94 quarterback again, replacing Daniel Ladd. 1st and 10, the Storm 33-yard line. 3 receivers slot to the right this time. They will hand it off to Smalley, and Smalley does not have much room to roam. In fact, he goes down for maybe a yard at the 32-yard line. Looks like Mike Kuzer was on a stop, and I think Jaron Elder also helped.
Yeah, they had him in the backfield, but he is elusive, and that's his job is to run, and you got to be tenacious when you're back there. Again, we get 2 guys around the ball. This is a very important stop. We called the last stop. This.
Well, it gets more important as time goes on, but speaking of time, I think, timeout is called by the Capital City Seahawks. So why don't we take a little bit of time as we're late in the 3rd. Seahawks lead the Storm 8-6. We'll come back in a moment. Back here in Northwest D.C., Woodrow Wilson High School. This is a crazy one. Tom Wilkins with Howard Gaber helped me out in the color department. 8-6, the Capital City Seahawks lead the Lehigh Valley Storm. as we approach the waning moments here of the third quarter. Of course, the only scoring in this second half has been a 47-yard interception return for a touchdown by Jaron Elder, which got the deficit down to 8-6, but the conversion failed. And so far, that's been the difference in this game, plus a lot of big plays have been called back because of penalties. Second, and we're going to say 8 from the 31-yard line. Again, 94 quarterback, and Smalley, play action this time on 94, backs up, fires up the middle to absolutely nobody, incomplete. I mean, everyone was going in every direction except the ball, so now it looks like the Seahawks will have a 3rd and 8 coming up.
I'll tell you something. If John Gruden broke that play down, he would be there for a month, going the wrong side, throwing across your body, no footwork, no pass, no nothing. You know, it was desperation, but again, he prevented the sack. That's what he did.
As you mentioned, Howard, I mean, you talked about this being a run option team, a run first team, and we've been seeing a lot more passes than we've expected here in this game.
Yeah, different quarterbacks, and all the quarterbacks are throwing. It's not just one quarterback, so.
But it could also be a new system, too, on the part of Capital City, let's not forget. 3rd and 8, Seahawks at the Storm 31-yard line, moving in motion Greg Bowman, 4 receivers, 3 to the left. In the shotgun 94 with Smalley next to him. He goes back, he's looking under a rush, throws left side, and the pass is caught. Is that number 19? James Boyd, who kept running. There was no whistle, and he's in the end zone. Why did the Storm stop moving?
It looked like they thought it was dropped. Looks like they thought it hit the ground. We're going to have to watch that later on in our film session and see, because that would be the only reason why he stopped like that, is that he thought the ball bounced.
Well, Tyji Mitchell is talking to the back judge saying, wait a minute, I thought he dropped the ball. But evidently he did not, and it ends up being a 31-yard touchdown pass from number 94 to James Boyd, 2nd touchdown pass of the game for the quarterbacks of the Seahawks. And they will do the conversion, I'm assuming the extra point. The first one failed. But I'll tell you one thing. The Storm have to hope the conversion doesn't succeed, because if it doesn't, then it's a 1-score game. They can come back with a touchdown or 2.
Exactly. You got to collect your thoughts. The play's over. You let it go, and let's get on the next one. Let's block this one. Do something to prevent them from getting in, because if they get in, it now turns into a 2-score game.
Well, let's see what happens. They will try the 2-point conversion. 94 line up in an I formation, receiver on each side. We'll see who tries to power it in. They snap it. It'll be a keeper for 94. He lobbies his way right into the end zone for a 2-point conversion. That play is going to be a big one to think about. So, as we near the end of the third quarter, or at least I'm assuming so, the Capital City Seahawks double their output and now lead the Lehigh Valley Storm by a score of 16-6.
Lumpy Lou's Bar and Grill in Allentown reminds you that there are always fun places to be, whether it's game day or not. Located in the Lehigh Valley, Lumpy Lou's is more than another local sports bar and is the home of the MLF Lehigh Valley Storm. Locally owned and operated by Steve Lombardo, Lumpy Lou's now offers the NFL package to its patrons. Their mission is to provide unrivaled service, make amazing food, and create a family-style atmosphere where anyone can feel at home. Whether you're here to watch the game on one of our multiple TV screens or enjoy our 35-cent wings Wednesday to Sunday nights, we promise you that once you come in and meet us, you will feel like one of the family.
It took a couple of seconds, but it turned out that while we were on break, the officials decided it was 3-quarter time. So the 3-quarter time score, the Capital City Seahawks 16, the Lehigh Valley Storm 6. It is now a 2-score game, which makes that fake punt play absolutely more head-scratching, because it cost the Storm at least 30 yards, if not more, of field position, and it ended up backfiring on them with the pass to James Boyd, who ended up catching the ball. We thought his knee was down, that he was touched, but he was not. The official said no, there was no whistle, and Boyd did what he had to do. He ran it into the end zone and had a 2-point conversion by 94 by himself. That's why it is 16-6, and now the Storm are really going to have to hurry the pace up. Very, very tough way to end the third quarter.
Yeah, Tom, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot for this offense. They haven't put points on the board yet. Our 6 points is on the defense. I have full faith in this offense, that they can put points on the board. I mean, if you can put 22 up on the Maulers, you should be able to score at will, and put it in the end zone.
I definitely agree with you, and you kind of wonder exactly what has really been lacking in the second half. But don't forget, the Seahawks had the ball for a lot of this third quarter. The Storm only had it, I believe, for technically 6 plays, if you count the one where the fake punt backfired. So let's see what happens as the kickoff is about to happen. We're looking back at Yusuf Reddick along the left side. I believe Yulene Reddick is on the right. The kickoff is headed for Yulene. He'll catch it about the 13, right up the middle, across the 20, 25, and he gets lassoed down to 27-yard line as Will Monahan came out of nowhere and made that tackle. So the Storm, they have some ground to cover, but hey, it's not impossible, Howard.
No, it's not, Tom. Again, this is the offense. You got to stay within the offense, and you gotta make up ground where you can get it. They had time on the sideline. They had time at the end of the quarter to get stuff set up, get their blocking assignments in, and get Zuli a little more time so we can connect on some of these passes.
Well, we're going to see what happens here. The Storm have 74 yards to travel to make it a one-score game again. So 1st and 10, as Zach Zuli, who's trying to get the troops together here, as he's going to line up 4 receivers. Lamoureux will be to his right. Now he switches over to the left, and Zuli in the shotgun, of course. Wayne to take the snap on 1st and 10. Here he goes. He takes it under a rush. He's going to throw it. The middle pass is caught. Yusuf Reddick. Reddick breaks a tackle across the midfield, and he escapes to the 40, the 30, the 20,
there he
the
goes.
10. Wabi Yusuf Reddick. Welcome to the end zone. 74 yards, and the Storm are right back in it.
That's what they needed, Tom. One play to get them back.
Wow. And you talk about great play by Yusuf Reddick, who was able to spin out a tackle at the midfield stripe, and he was off to the races. The biggest play so far for the Lehigh Valley Storm offensively this season. And all of a sudden, it's a 4-point game. They're going to try the 2-point conversion to try and make it down to 2, but wow.
Yeah, Tom, if you notice on that play, we both saw it. They rushed almost the whole line and left their backs in single coverage. And once Yusuf beat that first guy, it was over. They were all on top of Zach, and it looks like Coach McDowell had the right call at the right time. He had the quick out, get it to our receiver, and let him do his work.
We can just say it was a jailhouse blitz that ended up with Yusuf Reddick throwing everybody in the slammer for 74 yards. All right, the 2-point conversion as Zully stands in the shotgun. 4 receivers. We'll see if they convert here. Lamoureux to the left. Here's the snap. Zully looking. He's going to run to his left, and he will reverse direction, get out of a sack. Tries to throw across the body. No, he's going to still run. He's at the 15. Can he still do it? He'll flop it. No, it is intercepted in the end zone. Daryl Gibbons causes the conversion to fail as he intercepts it. However, early in the final quarter, the Storm have some magic. They're only down 4, folks, as the Seahawks lead the Storm by a count of 16-12.
Come on, kid. I'm Drew Brees.
And I'm Harry.
Who?
From One Direction.
Dudes, won the Super Bowl.
Platinum album.
MVP.
On the cover. Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Hey, man. Give me the Pepsi, and I'll get you a tryout.
Cool. Hit me, Drew.
It's a game again, folks. The Capital City Seahawks lead the Lehigh Valley Storm by a count of 16-12 as Yusuf Reddick on the first play in the Storm's final quarter get a 74-yard touchdown pass. To recap the play, Zully was under a jailhouse break blitz, but Yusuf Reddick was able to catch it up the middle. He sprung out of a tackle, reverse direction, and away he went from the near sideline for a 74-yard gallop. So with the conversion failing, it's now 16-12, and the Storm are still hanging around. This is turning into a very exciting game.
Yeah, Tom, it looks like the polka ladies are going to have to wait a little bit longer.
Well, one way or the other, but anyway, Zully will kick this off. He gets it. Oh, it's a squib kick. which will be taken and dropped.
Oh,
How about
come
the
on.
40
You
yard
got to be
line?
on it,
Then
Tom.
scramble for it. I think the
It looks
Seahawks
like
fell on it.
I don't know, Tom. There was black underneath there.
Well, we'll
I
see.
don't know.
Yeah, it is Seahawks
Yeah,
ball.
yeah, they
It
got
is.
it.
The field judge says it's Seahawks ball. That was number 40 in the name of Darcy Millard, who could not come up with it, but it was either him or somebody else who was able to tuck it under him, and the Seahawks end up starting at their own 40-yard line. It was a little bit of a chancy play for the Storm. I mean, not a bad idea, but hopefully the Storm defense can make up for the previous mistake on the last drive.
Right, and we all know that the Storm are not a very good kickoff team, except the last one that they boomed over their head. So why not try something? That's part of what this team has to figure out. If we're not going to kick it deep, let's do a squib. Let's surprise them. Let's see what we can get out of it. And they almost got it, Tom.
And remember, Jimmy Johnson did that in 1991 at RFK Stadium against the Redskins, and that helped end the Redskins' unbeaten run on a surprise onside kick in the second quarter. See, being a Cowboys fan, I had to remember that. But anyway, 1st and 10, number 94 under center for the Seahawks at their own 40-yard line. He fumbles the snap!
There's the ball, Tom. It's still out, still out.
Did the Storm have it?
Yes.
The Storm say they have it. There's no signal. It is Storm ball! A missed exchange snap on 94, and the Storm end up recovering at the 41-yard line. They are back in business. What happened, Howard?
Oh, my gosh, Tom. Bad snap, and what happened was instead of falling on the ball, the quarterback kicked it forward, and it just happened to fall into somebody's arms that was wearing a Storm uniform. You drop on the ball and you cover it up, but he, unfortunately for the Seahawks, he happened to kick it. It went forward, bounced off of somebody's leg. Next thing you know, somebody falls on it, and we got the ball back in business.
They certainly are, and the Storm right now, early in the fourth quarter, they seem to have the momentum. Remember, they have not had the lead yet this year. They trailed the entire game against Albany. Here, they are down 16-12 to the Capital City Seahawks in a key drive, 1st and 10 from the Seahawk 41-yard line. Zulli in the shotgun, 4 receivers. Lamoureux to the left of Zulli, waiting in the shotgun, takes the snap. He's looking at some time, throws around the middle, caught by Reddick. Reddick gets a shoestring tackle down to 25-yard line. Good tackle by Darrell Gibbons, but not before a gain of 16 and a Wegmans first down, which they finally get the call.
And a great job by the running back picking up the blitz. I mean, they're shooting him every time, and it looks like he's finally getting his feet under him, and he's picking up the right blocks. They're only coming with 4, but they're coming from way outside.
Okay, so 1st and 10. The Storm will have it at the 24 of the Seahawks. Let's see how they line up. They're going to do it again. 4 receivers, 2 on each side, and Lamoureux to the left of Zach Zulli, weighing in the shotgun. Storm looking to take the lead on this drive. Here's the snap. Zulli back. Rolls to his right. He throws to his right. Pass is caught at about the 12-yard line by Marcus Hutchins. Another Wegmans first down as Marcellus Manier able to bring him down, but the Storm, they're really seizing a momentous opportunity.
Tom, you got to love this. This looks like your Philadelphia Eagles offense. 3 steps back and shoot the ball out. He's not waiting again. He's not roaming around. He's not sprinting out. It's a 3-step drop and then a quick pass.
1st and 10 for the Storm at the 12-yard line of the Capital City Seahawks. Early in the fourth quarter, 16-12 Seahawks lead. Zulli in the shotgun, 4 receivers, 3 to the left. Takes a snap, and they hand it off to Lamoureux. They tried, and I don't think the fake worked as Lamoureux loses a yard to the 13-yard line. They had the right idea, but the Seahawks are ready for him.
Yeah, you try the run option. You try to catch them off guard and hope. But, again, you got to keep them honest. You can't keep throwing the ball, especially if they're rushing and they're getting back there. So, let's see what Coach McDowell's going to dial up for this one.
It'll be 2nd and 11 from the 13-yard line. Lehigh Valley Storm trying to take advantage of that big missed exchange snap. Number 94, the quarterback for the Seahawks, fumbled. The ball recovered by the Storm. Didn't quite get who recovered it, but the Storm have already gotten 2 first downs in this drive. Let's see what they do here on 2nd and 11 from the 13-yard line. Zulli takes the snap. He's looking. He's under a rush. He's in trouble. He gets out of the sack. Now he's got to throw one all the way to Central Virginia, incomplete.
That's what you got to do. Someone got to him. Someone said, hey, instead of taking these sacks, instead of losing the ball, throw it out of bounds. They're not going to call you for intentional grounding. Get out of the pocket, throw it out of bounds.
Or at least they better not call intentional grounding, because I have seen it where they've called it, but obviously the pocket had already collapsed at that point, so doing that was the right thing to do at that point. So now I would say 4-down territory again. 3rd and 11. Storm at the Seahawks 13-yard line. They're down 16-12, looking to take their first lead of the 2015 season.
This is big for this O-line. You know, they've got to give them time. They've got to give them the 3 seconds to get these receivers out there.
Totally agree. Back goes Zully. He's looking. He pump fakes. He's going to roll to his left. Looking. He throws the side. Ready, set! Welcome to the end zone! Yusuf Reddick, the Soldier Boy, slam dunks one over the field goal post or whatever they're called. But the Lehigh Valley Storm have taken their first lead with an 18-16 strike. Yusuf Reddick's second touchdown of the quarter, and the Storm take advantage of that huge turnover that the Seahawks made earlier.
Tom, that was picture perfect. You know, a good roll-up, naked bootleg. He had the option to either throw it or run it. He saw Reddick wide open. Why not? You know, he's our man now, so let's get it to him.
Okay, and the Storm will obviously go for a 2-point conversion here, and this is very important in this way, because you're up 18-16 now. If you hit the 2, they're going to need a touchdown to go ahead. If you miss, if somehow they get a kicker in the next 11 minutes, a field goal could win this game.
Yeah, but you know, we know right now they don't have a kicker, but you never know.
That is true. Zully waiting for the conversion. Takes a snap, goes back, looks, going to try and run. He flips it, unfortunately, to nobody. The intended receiver was Reddick, incomplete, but the conversion fails. So, with about 10 minutes left, the Lehigh Valley Storm, first lead of the game. They lead the Capital City Seahawks 18-16.
A&H Sporting Goods is not only your Nocana and Wilson headquarters, but also a full-service embroidery and screen printing company. This family-owned business has been producing quality custom embroidery and silk screening for over 30 years, and we're happy to work with any client from single customers to large corporations. At A&H Sporting Goods, we take pride in working closely with you to ensure your complete satisfaction, including a unique design, high-quality craftsmanship, and excellent customer service.
If you're a Capital City Seahawks fan and you're wondering what's going on, well, this is not the position you want to be in, because the Lehigh Valley Storm have rolled up 12 consecutive points to take an 18-16 lead over the Seahawks here in the final quarter. 2 touchdown passes to Yusuf Reddick, one from 74 yards, the other from 13 yards out on a great offensively designed play by Coach Darren McDowell and the Storm. All 3 2-point conversions have failed in this one, and all the points the Storm have scored have been in the second half. Zully to approach the kickoff, and it's high, and it's going to be taken at about the 20-yard line. That's J.D. Crandall. No, it's not Crandall. He gets about the 35, runs to about the 40, still running midfield, and down in Storm territory about the 44-yard line. That's Alfonso Griffin, rather, who made the return, but there is a flag down. I think the Storm might have been offside on the kickoff, so that's going to really give Capital City some very good field position.
Yeah, they'll take the 5 yards at the end of the run. So, you know, but nothing new for the Storm, right? Nothing new for the Storm defense. They're going to be in their own shadow of their own goalpost.
Well, not to say that the Storm have come up with some magical moments here, but again, they've got to stay mentally sharp, and so far, through 7+ quarters, they have not been able to do so. So now the Storm defense comes on with a 2-point lead, and now a big moment here in the early part of this World Football Federation season.
You know, you got to think, Tom. 2 stops, right? They got, what do they have? 1 timeout left.
Well, they need to make one right here. There's no question about it here. 1st and 10. Seahawks at the Storm 40-yard line. The offside penalty tacked on to where the kickoff ended out of bounds. Here's a snap and a handoff. That's Smalley, who breaks a tackle. 35-30. Look out. Here's open room to the 20, to the 10. And did he get in? No, yes, he did. Welcome to the end zone. Would you believe it? Akil Smalley, a 40-yard touchdown run. All of a sudden, points are being piled on both sides. The Storm had to lead for a very short time, but Evidently, it didn't last.
Yeah, I don't know why so many whistles, Tom. I mean, look, just like regular run, he had at least 3 different shots to get him. What do we got? Personal foul, horse collar.
Oh, a horse collar tackle at the very end after Smalley crossed the plane, a 40-yard touchdown run, and I'm assuming that penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Yeah, they'll be kicking it. They'll be kicking it from real close.
So for the Lehigh Valley Storm, they needed to keep that momentum, and on one play, they gave it all back. And that is not a good sign, especially if you're looking forward into the season.
Tom, they're only 4 down now. They stopped this, and you know what? They come right back. That's what you got to look for now out of this team. You got to look for the ability to forget plays. They forgot the bad touchdown that the receiver kept going, so you got to forget this one now.
Well, 94 is in as the quarterback here, as he's going to go for the 2-point conversion, ahead 22-18 now. Both teams have traded touchdowns. There have been lots of points here in this fourth quarter. Here on the conversion, the snap and the throw and over the head of Tim Short, the intended receiver, but a flag went down rather late after the incompletion. So there's a chance it could be defensive interference, and if that's so.
No, it's on offense, Tom. On the offense.
They could decline that.
And they did.
Oh,
They
okay,
declined
so it was Short pushing off on the defender for offensive pass interference, so the conversion fails. And here in this fourth quarter, we need to catch our breath here. Capital City Seahawks get the lead back over the Storm, 22-18.
Located in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Amato Family Chiropractic Center is here to serve you. Combining the science of chiropractic with rehabilitation has been proven to help patients feel better and live more active lives. We are a complete rehabilitation facility including cardiovascular equipment, resistance training, as well as balance and sport-specific functional training. We specialize in chiropractic rehabilitation and have a fully equipped facility with everything you need to treat pain and get you feeling normal again.
Back here at Woodrow Wilson High School here in Northwest D.C., Crazy Tom, along with Howard Gaber here on color, the Capital City Seahawks just retook the lead, 22-18 over the Lehigh Valley Storm. They will be kicking off in the midfield stripe following the personal foul horse collar tackle against the Storm on the touchdown run by Akil Smalley. Let's see what happens here, as it'll be Daniel Ladd.
Tom, this is a perfect spot for an onside kick.
No,
but they don't.
Will kick it off, and it will be one hop and landing about the 2. And Yulene Reddick will run. He will get to about the 8, cross the 10, slip a tackle, get another block.
He's got the outside, Tom.
Far side, 15, and down to about the 17-yard line. So Yulene Reddick, was able to run a lot, but only getting back to the 17-yard line.
That's not a bad 16-yard run when you've got everybody at 50 and less coming at you. I would think that would be a perfect spot for an onside or a squib. I mean, you only got half the field, so why not give it a go, But, hey, you also kick it deep and you pin them deep. So
for our friends at WALN Cable Radio who have been waiting for the Polka show, Ned Richards' Saturday Night Sock Hop. Actually, it's a sock hop. Now, can you imagine a crossing polka
no
with
polka?
Sock hop? That'll all be interesting.
No polka, Tom. I'm upset.
I know, but Ned Richards' show will take place on WALN Cable Radio following tonight's Storm Capital City game. Of course, listen to WALNCableRadio.com, where you can get sentimental hits Monday through Friday and polkas all weekend long. Okay, 1st and 10, the Storm at the 17-yard line. Actually, Yulene Reddick was shaken up at the end of the play, so he's slowly walking off, and Zach Zulli has walked back on. 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Lamoureux to the right of Zulli in the shotgun from the 17-yard line, 1st and 10. Zulli waits, takes a snap. He's looking. He throws out the middle, and a nice catch again. And that once more is Marcus Hutchins. Hutchins goes to about the 25 down to the 26-yard line.
He made that decision to cut it back to try and get a little speed on the outside, but he didn't actually get it. So thank goodness they gave him forward progress, Tom.
Actually, it was a gain of 7 to the 24-yard line, so 2nd and 3. So far, the passing game is working very well here in the second half for Zach Zulli and his career, really keeping the Capital City Seahawks defense a little bit off base here. If the run's not working so well, let the passing kick in, and so far, it has.
Yeah.
I'm
Jimmy
sorry,
Jimmy
second.
LaHue used that to perfection, Tom. Sorry.
All right, second and 4 from the 24-yard line for Rizzoli, who takes the snap. Going to throw to the right, pass caught. Devon Gordon will be smacking that down to the 37-yard line. He's brought down by Calvin Dickens, but not before Wegman's first down and a pickup of 13 to the 37-yard line.
Good play, Tom. It was, again, these are quick outs. This is what he has. He's getting rushed by 5, 6 guys. There's no way his offensive lineman and his running back next to him can actually pick up all these guys. They're outnumbering him. So he's got to get rid of the ball. He's in the shotgun. He's got the 2 or 3 seconds, so get rid of it, get it out there.
And he's throwing it rather quickly, too, let's not forget. First and 10, Storm at their own 37-yard line. They trail 22 to 18, and now whistles blow. I think we're going to have a timeout by the Capital City Seahawks. We'll do that real quick, too, as we're nearing the midway part of final quarter. Capital City still leads the Storm, 22 to 18. Back here in Northwest D.C., the Storm first and 10 around 37-yard line. For our friends, of course, watching on HSG Productions, courtesy of livestream.com, and those catching us on WALNcableradio.com and rockingthevalley.com, we're very happy to have you guys here. We're getting people checking in from Florida and, of course, southeastern Pennsylvania, Arizona checking things out today. And I'm sure some of you are listening in the Washington, D.C. area. So we thank you all for all your support with semi-pro football tonight. First and 10 for the 37 for the Storm as Zulli waits in the shotgun. And Yusuf Reddick took off two seconds before everybody else. And that play cost the Storm 5 yards on a false start.
And, again, this is our detriment here. That's 5 yards that we can't give up. They just had a timeout. So when you have a timeout, you should be able to understand what we're doing in the offense, And not to blame Yusuf because, he's outstanding out there. But he's moving laterally. He's not even, getting set.
Well, it's definitely true. And, I mean, Yusuf has had a lot of tremendous yards in this game. But right now, the mental mistakes are what's going to matter here when it all is said and done. First and 15 for the 32. Zulli back. Pump fakes. In trouble. He's back. He's got to throw a deep ball left side. The pass is way over the head of Tom Kolodziejski. Incomplete on the far side of the field. One of the Seahawks thought they were going to have a Zulli on a sack. Didn't quite work out, but a long incompletion at second down.
Again, he got rid of the ball. Got rid of the ball, got it out there, had a chance, and that's what he's doing. He has his arms out. He's like, Coach, I'm not having the time that I have. He's had 2 guys on him that time. These long passes, Coach McDowell's got to just, shelve it. Hey, you know what, guys? Let's go. Let's get a West Coast offense going, a good Philadelphia Eagle offense. Chip Kelly's got to be able to call these plays and get them short.
Well, as long as they make smart calls, I think that's what matters the most here. Second and 15. The Storm at their own 32-yard line. They trail 22 to 18 to Capital City. Probably midway final quarter here. Zulli in a shotgun. 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Line over to the right of Zulli, who takes a snap, looks, has some time, rolls to the right, looking, throws to the right. Pass is caught by Yusuf Reddick at about the 39-yard line. It was a 7-yard pickup, and he spiked the ball after he went out of bounds. I mean, he didn't score, but at least he got half the yardage back.
Yeah, he's got to watch that because these refs, no one knows him, and looks like somebody is injured on the sideline there.
There's an injured Seahawk along the Lehigh Valley Storm sideline. I can't see who it is. While we attend to that, let's take a quick break. 22-18, Capital City by 4 over the Storm.
Hello and welcome to Evans Lawn Care, one of the best lawn care services in the Lehigh Valley. Our mission is to handle all of your landscaping needs and to put you at ease. With our 5 years of experience of commercial and residential service, we hope to make sure to handle any of your lawn care needs. You deal directly with the owner-operator, and we're not happy unless you're happy. Contact us for a free estimate and ask about our 2 free cut specials, servicing the Lehigh Valley.
The injured Seahawk was Frank Jennings. He's able to walk off and get to his side on his own power. He was down right in front of the Lehigh Valley Storm bench, but thankfully the injury didn't seem serious, so he'll probably just be out for that one play. Meanwhile, for the Lehigh Valley Storm, here's the situation. 3rd and 9 from their own 39-yard line. Actually, 3rd and 8. Yusuf Reg just caught a 7-yard pass. Zully in the shotgun as the clock has started up again. Remember, official time kept on the field, so we don't know exactly how much time there is left. Zully takes the snap. He's looking in the pocket. Throws up the middle, and a pass is caught. Kolodziejski midfield, spins out, gets to the 45,
Tom,
to
broke
the
a tackle.
40, still pushing
Okay.
to the 38-yard line. Tom Kolodziejski with a 23-yard pickup and another Wegmans first down. I think I might need a Wegmans after this game.
And Tom, he broke that tackle. You know, that's what these young guys can do. You know, he was our interview at the end of the game last game, and you know what? He's showing off again that you never can count him out. You know, he's a good player. He's a solid player. He broke the tackle. They tried to strip the ball from him, and they were unsuccessful.
Well, now for the Storm, they are at the Capital City 38-yard line, 1st and 10. And the Storm looking to retake the lead. They trail by 4, 22-18. In a game that has featured a lot of fourth-quarter points, 2 touchdown catches for Yusuf Reddick from 74 and 13 yards out, respectively. I would have to say he's got another 100-yard game. We'll have to look at the tape. 1st and 10 from the Capital City 38. Zully in the shotgun, takes a snap. He's looking, has some time. He will throw right side. Yes, who? Yusuf Reddick to the 30, 25, 20, and out of bounds and pushed down at about
Tom, that's got it. You know, come on.
18-yard line. But I think the man who made the tackle, Alex Frempong, was able to slow down enough and not get another 15 yards or half the distance to the goal attached.
That was very close, Tom. You don't end up on the man when he's out of bounds. You know, you just don't do it. But again, you know, it's a tough call, and they didn't get it that time. But you know what? Still in business, Tom. 1st and 10 in the Pepsi red zone.
They're in the Pepsi zone, and yes, it's a Wegmans first down, in case I didn't quite mention that too. So take care of the sponsors all in one chunk. 1st and 10, Storm at the Capital City 18-yard line. 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Lamoureux to the left is Zully, waiting for the snap. He takes it. He's back, has a little time. He's looking, rolls to his right. Pocket collapses, throw to right side. He's got Gordon, but a little bit too far to the right, incomplete.
And just a little bit out of bounds. You know, he's looking for him. You know, that was a much better conceived play, except it just took a little too long, and Gordon coming across, you know, he's being covered. So better throw it out of bounds and have it intercepted in the end zone.
Well, I will say this much. At least the Storm had the right idea, but they have 3 more cracks then. Remember, they can still get 1 more first down before it becomes goal to go. So 2nd and 10 to Storm at the Capital City 18-yard line. I'll tell you one thing. It's been a lot more of an exciting game than I actually anticipated, but I had a feeling it had a chance of coming down to the wire, and folks, it is. Remember, time is being kept on the field, so I do not know how much time is left. I'm going to say maybe 6 minutes, but don't hold my word on it. 2nd and 10. Storm at the Capital City 18. Zully in the shotgun, 4 receivers, 3 to the right this time. Back goes Zully on the snap. He's looking, has some time, looks to his right. Let's see if he runs. There's a flag down. He's going to move to about the 15.
Good ball
and out of
fake.
bounds at the 10. Is there a hold on that play?
Don't even tell me, Tom.
Because the 2 flags came down about the 25-yard line as Zully was running. I didn't necessarily see the hold, but it is indeed a hold.
Yep. That's a drive killer.
Well, it's also an 8-yard gain being thrown into the recycling bin, so it's also a matter as to where the hold was and penalizing 10 yards from that spot. So I would have to say the Storm, who have really committed some penalties, have proven very costly and taken away some big plays.
Tom went from the line of scrimmage, I guess, because that was a run. So since the hold occurred behind
I think you're right,
line.
yes, because it is spotted at 28, and that's a 10-yard penalty. So, 2nd and 20, the Storm are going to need to get a Gordon catch or a Kolodziejski catch or another Yusuf Reddick catch. And they're going to have to find a way to average 7 yards in the next 3 plays in order to keep this drive going. Very, very important next couple of moments here. 2nd and 20, following the holding penalty. Ball at the 28 of the Seahawks. Zully in the shotgun. 4 receivers, 3 to the left this time. I'm sure there's going to be a pass defense coming up for the Seahawks. Back goes Zully. He's looking at some time. Throws to the right, and a pass
Wide open.
caught
Wide open,
beautifully by Robert Collins, who caught it about the 16-yard line to gain a 12. So he's getting more than half the yardage, and it's now 3rd and 8 as back in the Pepsi zone the Storm go.
Tom, wide open, nobody around him. You know, you would think he got lost in coverage somewhere, you know, which is good because, you know, that sets up the next play. You know, you don't know if the other receivers are driving off the D-backs deep, and he just falls in underneath.
All right, so it'll be 3rd and 8. The ball will be at the Seahawks 16-yard line. Zully taking his time, a lot of time. I wouldn't be surprised if the Storm tried calling time out here.
Yeah, but you know, they didn't run the play in. This is his play. You know, Coach McDowell was on the sideline. He didn't come in.
Well, we hope it will work. 3rd and 8 from the 16-yard line. Zully the snap in the shotgun under a rush. He's going to run to the left. He's being chased by 4 Seahawks. Storm deep right side. Try to get Reddick incomplete. I mean, that was a bum rush, and the Seahawks came right after him.
He had no chance. He had no chance. But you know what? Again, you don't give up the sack. You don't give up the yardage. You don't give up the sack. Throw it out of the end zone. The only person that could have caught that was Reddick. And you know what? You live to fight another day, and this is their play here. This is again our game.
Fight another down, and this could be it right here. 4th and 8, the ball at the 16-yard line. I mean, it has not been the cleanestly played game. There have been a good number of penalties. There have been a bunch of turnovers. I mean, Zully's only thrown 1 interception, but of course Lamoureux fumbled, and that was recovered, of course, by the Seahawks. Quarterback Daniel Ladd threw 3 interceptions, 2 to Jared Elder, 1 return for a pick 6 to start the Storm scoring in the second half. Right here, right now for the Storm, 4th and 8. They are at the Seahawks 16-yard line. Again, lining up 4 receivers, 3 to the right. I can almost see another blitz coming here by the Seahawks.
I think they're dropping back, Tom. They're dropping in coverage.
Let's see. Back goes back goes Zully.
They got
He's
4.
looking, has time. Chase throws right. Passes.
It's caught.
I think by Gordon. He caught it, I believe. Yes. At the 6, it's 1st and goal for the Storm. A 10-yard pickup when they needed 8, and Devon Gordon came through.
That's a shot in the arm. You live to fight that other day. You know, all those passes out of the back of the end zone, that's why you do them.
Well, right now the coach is talking to Zach Zully and Yusuf Reddick on what they're going to do here, but now it's come down to this. 18 feet to take the lead again. And I'm sure there's got to be about 4 minutes left, and the coach sure wants to know how much time is left. And I think this has been a pretty fairly called game, to say the least. So you don't want to end it in a way where it ends up being on shaky ground. So we can only hope for the best here, but we're guaranteed a good finish. 1st and goal from the 6. Zully in the shotgun. Lamoureux to the right. 4 receivers, 3 to the right. Back goes Zully, who drops a snap. He's going to look. Let's see what happens. He will break out and shovel pass to nobody.
Boy.
Incomplete.
That's a play. That's a play, Tom. That gives him, that was a loss of 7 if he's back there. Just by chucking that ball out of bounds, gains it all back.
And the pocket collapsed, so it couldn't be intentional grounding anyway. So
no, he was out of the end. Yeah, he was out.
Zully clearly has played a much sharper game in comparison to last week.
Much, and Tom, this team is fighting. This team is fighting for everything they get, and that sometimes makes it even better.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. As long as you play 60 minutes, I don't mean the NFL trademark here, but you do that, and more times than not, you'd be surprised at how many more wins you could have. You got to play every down, every play, but take it one little step at a time. 2nd and goal at the 6-yard line. Zully in the shotgun. Same formation as before. To the left, Lamoureux. 3 receivers to the right. Zully takes a snap. He's looking at some time. Looking. Throws right. Passes! Incomplete. Tom Kolodziejski thought he had it, but also getting a paw on it was Alex Frempong, who ping-ponged it out of Kolodziejski's hands, and it's 3rd and goal.
Again, they're not rushing a lot. You know what it needs, and it looks like the linemen are finally picking up these guys with these wide splits. You know, it's sometimes they think that, oh, if I go out wider, I'll be able to get around the lineman and get to the quarterback. But you know, if the lineman just stunts out a little bit, there's no rush, and that's what's giving, you know, Zully the time to throw the ball.
Okay, it'll be 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. And I thought I saw a light or two go out on our end. I don't know what happened, what flickered. Didn't affect any of the field play in any case, but here we go. 3rd and goal from the 6. Zully in the shotgun, same formation as before. They kind of shuffle the receivers here. Lamoureux to the right, back goes Zully. Oh no, receiver started too early, and it's going to be a false start.
Yeah, you got to look at that the right way, Tom. You know, on the positive side, it gives them a little more room to throw the ball and run their routes. That's all you can say. You know, because you can't keep doing it. You just keep shooting yourself in the foot every time you're moving the ball back. But you know what? Now they got.
If anything, maybe it gives them a little more room to pass in the end zone. Just
Right.
a quick reminder, at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock Eastern, you're listening to Lehigh Valley Storm Football, courtesy of HSG Productions and Livestream.com. We're also on WALNCableRadio.com and RockingTheValley.com. For all of our listeners, thank you for tuning in with us. And, of course, we have the Ned Richards Saturday Night Sock Hop coming up on WALN Cable Radio following this game. So, for you sock hoppers, just hang in there for a little bit longer. You're in for a good finish, I promise you. 3rd and goal from the 11-yard line. Crowd starting to chant defense on the Seahawks side. Shotgun for Zully. 4 receivers. Back he goes. Has time looking. He will float one, and it's caught at about the 10 to about the 5. Still going and out of bounds.
Out of
at
bounds.
about
Out
the
of
4.
bounds.
Cody Lamoureux on a screen. Able to get maybe 7 on the play. But now the Storm have a do-or-die 4th and goal at the 4.
And why not, Tom? Why not end this, you know, with a great play? You know, no one knows how much time is left. We haven't seen a 2-minute warning. We haven't seen anything. No one knows at all how much time is left. So you know what? Get it in the end zone. Let's get this one.
Well, let me point something out to you. The winds are really starting to pick up as it's blowing into our booth here. We're trying to get a little bit of the sound here. The DJ, incidentally, has stopped playing. I just noticed that maybe about 15 minutes ago and forgot to mention.
And that's not a bad thing.
Here we go. 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. Zully in a shotgun. Again, 4 receivers. 3 to the right. Lamoureux to the right. Zully takes the snap. A low one. A jailbreak blitz. In trouble, and down he goes without even throwing the ball. The defense called the right play, and James Kroll was able to send everybody. This time it worked. Zully is sacked, and the Storm turned the ball over on downs 12 feet short.
Well, Tom, you know what? Again, they fought their whole way down. You know, they did. They showed the merit, and now this defense has got to act. You know, there can't be much time left again. We have no idea up here. But you know what? Let's get it. You know, the defense had a nice time to relax, get themselves together, figure out what they want to do. You know they're going to be running the ball, you know, because it's crunch time now. So let's hope this defense can rise.
Well, we'll see what happens here as the Seahawks had the ball at their own 15-yard line. 1st and 10. That was an 11-yard loss on Zully's part. But again, a great defensive call by the Seahawk defense that time. 94 in the shotgun once again. 1st and 10. Takes the snap. They will hand it off. And it looks like that will be Smiley down for a yard, the 16-yard line. Now, I'm guessing the Storm may have a timeout or 2 left. I'm not 100% sure.
Looks like we got one timeout.
Or
that could be the 2 minutes.
This could be the 2-minute warning.
This could be it, because they're not charging a team, so this has to be the 2-minute warning. So stay with us for the 2-minute warning.
Well, yeah, of course. If it's happening right now. While we have a moment before we head on out of here, just a quick thank you, of course, to Howard, of course, who has helped out with the color today, and, of course, to everybody who's listening, courtesy of Livestream.com and HSG Productions, WALNCableRadio.com, and RockingTheValley.com. We're not quite done yet, so don't get into other programming until we say so. And, of course, make sure you tune in to Lehigh Valley Storm Weekly, which, of course, we produced our first show this past Thursday, and catch what happened last week and some of the key plays. If you didn't get a chance to watch the game, you'll be able to catch it. And, of course, it can also be on my personal page, Facebook.com/CrazyTom. So you want to check that out, too. And Howard has one, too, so don't worry about that. All right, 2nd and 9 from the 16-yard line, the shotgun. and a low snap, which is taken by 94, and he will get to about the 19,
Dig the
bounce on the
ball.
tackle. He will not
Get
go
the
down.
ball.
And now he goes at about, 3-yard pickup to the 19.
Got to have a
If
timeout.
if the Storm have a timeout left, maybe they should use it.
I would hope they did, unless they're waiting.
And now a whistle is blowing.
Yes, now they're using it.
And are they going to call timeout now?
Somebody's got to call it. See which way.
Well, the officials aren't being very clear about it.
No, they're not directing either way.
You want to make sure everything works out okay, but I'm assuming the Storm called timeout. And if they did,
Tom,
why
we'll
did they
just
call
keep it.
10 seconds too late?
Yeah, we'll just keep it here, Tom, because you know what? You never know what goes through the mind of some football players. And you know what? It's a big down. It's third down. You stop them here. You get the ball back. You get a bad snap on the punt. You get a good return. And next thing you know, you're going home with the win.
Well, is it possible that maybe the ghosts of Herman Edwards are showing up here in Northwest D.C.?
Joe Pisarcik. Another Joe Pisarcik reference.
Well, I had to throw that in there because I was only 6 years old when that happened. But
Thanks,
then again,
Tom.
the Eagles have had not one, not two, but 3 miracles at the Meadowlands. But then, of course, they had the disaster in D.C. last December.
Tom,
Thank you,
I'd just like to
Deshaun.
say, Tom, on that reference, we lost 2 viewers.
Oh, man. You had to go there. Anyway, 3rd and 6 from the 19-yard line. Key play here. Number 94, again, quarterback. He came in the second half after Daniel Ladd threw his 3rd interception. He takes a snap.
No,
he's going to
throwing,
pass,
Tom.
and the throw is caught. Oh, man. Number
geez.
19, James Boyd, ends up catching it to 25, leans to the 27, gets the first down, and I think a second consecutive loss to start the year has been wrapped up for the Storm.
Tom, you never know. You never know still. You got to hold out hope, but again, you can't kill the Storm because you know what? They had a lot of opportunities this game. They played a much sounder game than they did the first game.
Totally agree.
Again, some bad penalties, some bad calls, and you fight through it. And the Seahawks did.
But let's also not forget that bad calls won on both sides, but I think the key play was the catch by Boyd and the fact that he continued to play on without a whistle and scored and basically that was really the difference of the game. And although the Storm was able to take an early but brief lead, the turning point, of course, was Akil Smalley, who ran for 40 yards for the touchdown to give the lead for the Seahawks. And there we have the Seahawks just going victory formation with a kneel down. The Storm cannot stop the clock. So it looks like the Capital City Seahawks are going to go 1-1 in this game. The Storm will fall to 0-2. Going to be pretty long 4-hour trip back to Allentown. But if anything, head coach Darren McDowell could say this team played a lot better compared to last week. And even though it's been a little bit of a rough start for the Storm, next week they're home. I believe they're against the Hudson County Buccaneers as the last kneel down has occurred. Time has run out, and that will do it. Unfortunately for the Lehigh Valley Storm, they fall short by a count of 22-18 to the Capital City Seahawks. And before we go, we want to send some special thanks to our friends at HSG Productions, my counterpart Howard Gabriel on the color, WALNCableRadio.com, who will have Ned Richards' Saturday Night Sock Hop in just a couple of moments. And, of course, RockinTheValley.com, who happen to carry this broadcast here. So, of course, and thanks, of course, to the owner of the Storm, Steve Lombardo, for making this possible for all of us. Make sure you catch Lehigh Valley Storm Weekly at some point next week online, and definitely check out all the information on the Lehigh Valley Storm on their website, lvstormfootball.com. So for Howard Gaber and the rest of the crew, it's a crazy one. Tom Wilkins signing off from now from Northwest D.C. Your final score, the Capital City Seahawks 22 and the Lehigh Valley Storm 18. Have yourself a good night, everybody, and make sure you catch the Storm next week at home in Allentown. Have a good night, everybody.